Ravanna was once a proud land, home to honorable warriors, brilliant scholars, and just rulers. But decades of war have left the kingdom depleted and vulnerable, ripe for the picking for those ambitious enough to seize it. This was before the death of the king. In his absence, greedy men have become emboldened. This only worsened when Prince Edmund, their only heir, refused to take the throne at a time of war. His sister Lelena would rule in his stead until such a time when the war was won or a peace could be broken. What comes next is a matter of great debate and countless rumors, but what we know for certain is within months Lelena was married. A man named Erlich, who was of minor nobility and far from a suitable match for the standing queen, was quickly crowned, and Edmund's throne was usurped. In the years that followed, Ravanna has crumbled from within. Corruption runs rampant, fighting between noble houses threatens to tear the kingdom apart, and word from the capital is Erlich's parties grow increasingly decadent. The king is either blissfully unaware or indifferent to the state of Ravanna. This is a time for either heroes or villains to rise. A kingdom lies in the balance. Which way will the scales tip?
Oh my God.
And we are live. Welcome, everybody.
Hello, Internet.
Welcome to Ravanna, episode 1.
Thank you, Adam. So I am Jairus. I'll be DMing for you this campaign. Thanks, Frank. Oh, of course, Frank's here. You're off.
Frank Creed, ladies and
All
gentlemen.
right, so Ravanna, homebrew world, homebrew setting, homebrew story, homebrew characters. I don't know, homebrew stuff. We'll jump right into it. What do you think? Should we introduce you guys first, and then I'll give a little bit about the setting, or setting and we'll do you first.
We'll do the introductions first, and then they can remember about the setting.
There you go.
Forget all about us.
With Patrick. Anything you want to say about yourself and just a brief introduction of your character, and we'll get moving along.
Hello, my name is Patrick. I'm a blog guy. I play Tajeet. He's a redskin. He's a sorcerer, I think, and he does some stuff. I'm cool. Okay, bye.
Fantastic. Next is Phil.
Hey guys, I'm Phil. I play a eccentric gnome wizard, Kelwin Zognicks. That's pretty much it.
Oh wait! I had something to also say. I like balloons.
I think we all like balloons in our own little way. Some like the actual balloon. Some like what the balloons represent.
I like any group of bright colors just melded together. It's
There are
that scene in
colors.
Up where he lets all the balloons go out. Oh man.
There are some colors that should not be mentioned. There are some very, very vindictive colors.
I fucking love Tajeet. All right. After Phil, we're going to move across to directly below me. We have Ryan.
I'm Ryan. I love D&D. I'm playing a Dex 2-weapon fighter Tabaxi by the name of River. I hope you like his accent, and I hope that I can make a good performance for all of you.
I love that accent. All right. Moving right along. Next up is Amanda.
Hello, my name's Amanda. I'm from Northern California, and I will be playing Denelsi. She is a halfling druid, and once we get to level 2, she's going to be Circle of the Moon, so be prepared for me to start changing into all kinds of crazy shit. And you will see my cats interrupting my portion of the camera for a lot, so just be prepared for that as well. But I think that's it for me.
All right. And last, but certainly not least, the producer, the man who makes it all watchable. Give it up for Adam.
Hey everybody, I'm Adam. The watchable part is debatable. We're having some Skype issues, unsurprisingly, but we'll do our best here. Anyway, I'm playing Alistair Grant, the Bard. For those of you who do watch Return to the Bandit Kingdoms, he is very unlike Silverwolf. And I'll leave it at that for now, but we're excited to get things going and starting episode 1.
All right.
And also,
So-
for you Return of the Bandit Kingdoms aficionados, you might be pleasantly surprised to see Phil down in the opposite corner of me. So
That's
we're glad
right.
to have Phil back on the Wicked Studios channel.
Always. All right. So, Ravanna. I'm not going to give you a huge exposition dump because why? But just a little bit about the kingdom, get you started. Essentially, what we have is, I'm gonna pull up my map so I can stay focused. So you have a kingdom that is made up of four sovereign states, and so we have the sovereign of Navarra, you have Gallavastia, the Eldoran Highlands, and the Eastern Sweep. Each 4 of these territories unite to form the kingdom of Ravanna. Ravanna has been involved in holy war for the nation or territory of Jacare, which is considered to be a holy land. And this war goes back for as long as written history can account. Ravanna, or even before it was Ravanna, the nation states or the individual territories all fought for control of Jacare. It's where it's believed to be the birthplace of the gods, and it's a big deal. So real quick, we'll touch on religion in Ravanna. Very close, along the lines of like a Greek mythology, where you have, 10 or 12 central gods, and then there are dozens more. You have, your god of thunder and wine and grass and chipmunks, and it's there's something for everybody. So where our story begins is, like I said, the war for Jacare has been going on forever, but it's kind of fought in 10-year increments, where basically these nations will just send like an entire generation off to kill each other, and then they kind of like, all right, let's take it easy and breed another generation, so they're not just fighting each other into extinction. This one, however, has been going on for almost 20 years, and this is the longest that fighting has been happening without a ceasefire that anyone can recall. So that, it's going to take its toll on the nation. But what makes things worse is 6 years ago, the king was killed in battle. It's not typical that the king will actually go and fight in this holy war. But King Alaric, that's what he wanted to do. So he's over there fighting, and he's killed. And his son Edmund is over there with him. And rather than coming home to take the throne and have his coronation and all that, he decided that he couldn't leave his men, couldn't leave the battlefield. And he put his sister Lelena in place to rule until he came home, and he would take his throne. What comes next as an opening credits matter of rumor and debate. No one really knows how exactly it happened, but within 6 months, Lelena is married to Baron, which is like low-level nobility. That's like the type, if you're a really good businessman and you can buy yourself an estate, you can just buy yourself into a title of Baron. You don't need to have a family or a bloodline. It's just, you're successful. So she's married to Ehrlich. Then there is this brief period of turmoil, and it looks like things are going to get dire, and they need a sitting king to make a decision. Ehrlich gets ushered in, usurped Edmund's throne, and then that whole thing seemed to fizzle out pretty quickly, but you have yourself a new king. So what has happened under the rule of Ehrlich is you have seen a lot of nobles like him, barons and viscounts and successful businessmen rise higher in the ranks, and more scandals are being uncovered about old noble houses that date back thousands of years, and they are falling out of power. So there was a big shift in power happening, and it's created a lot of turmoil or opportunity, depending on which side of the law you fall on, for the normal people of Ravanna. And that's as much as we'll go into right now. I'll probably give you a little bit each week, so it's not just a big dump. So where the party begins is the party. Let's see. Do you mind pulling up the map?
I guess so.
Thank you.
All right, there you go.
All right. So. All right. So that is our lovely map. Would you mind getting Navarra more center screen so I can show where we're starting and where we're going? Oh, you got it. It's on the delay. All right. So we are starting.
Remember, you're living in the past. I'm living in the future.
I know. It's hard. All right.
Now you know what Will goes through.
Yeah. I appreciate the struggle. All right. So over here is the Kipling Forest. And Kipling Forest is eastern Navarra. It is outlands. Like it's the wildwood next to it is really, really dangerous. Nobody really ventures in there. So the habitable forest next to it is still a little. It can be a little dicey. It's the equivalent of being like a mountain man. But there's a lot of little villages and towns and civilization out there. Excuse me. So our party has started kind of towards the far edge of the Kipling Forest out here, and they are making their way to Dorlomin, which is over here by the little channel between the ocean and the sea. And Dorlomin is a port city. It is kind of a central hub for the entire kingdom. It is, I would compare it to a combination of maybe New York and Vegas, where it has kind of a party Vegas-y sort of feel with a just mix of every culture of Ravanna because of all the travelers coming through. They've all left their mark, so it's this culture, travel, party, hub sort of deal. And the party kind of met each other in the town of Tunstead, just looking for a caravan for some safety as they headed west. And that is where we will begin. But first things first, I forgot to get myself a drink, and I can't go through this sober. Sorry, Frank.
That was an important part of the overall experience.
A rookie mistake.
So now
You gotta come prepared, yo.
I know. I have a mini fridge right next to my desk. So last we left off, we had joined. What was the guy's name? Quigglesmith?
Yes.
Yep.
I believe.
Quibble.
Well, last we left off, we hadn't really wrapped things up yet, so I don't know how that's gonna go.
I think there was a little bit of hand waving. Like we got the Ravanna route, right? And we were going back to Quibblesmith.
Yeah,
Definitely.
That is it. We're gonna fast forward through the rest of that, and you guys were able to achieve the route that you needed, the Babuba route, and you've got Quigglesmith, and you guys have been traveling for about 2 weeks now. So it's 4 or 5 week journey from Tunstead to Dorlomin. You're about halfway through. It's not been great. So the quality of inn that you are going to encounter along these roads is just miserable. What the lodging, the food, the hospitality, it's just you ride all day through this muggy, hot wood, and you're getting chewed up by bugs, and then you get there and the food is awful, and you're sleeping on this lumpy stone mattress, and it sucks. So it's been about 2 weeks of this, and you guys are all weary, and it's a particularly hot and humid day, and it's just awful. And the road twists and it turns, and it's right about dusk. and that's where we will begin. You're with Wigglesmith and about 6 or 7 other merchants and their assistants, all heading from Tunstead to the village of, or the town of Teaberry, which is 5 or 6 days outside Dorlomin. There's going to be a big festival in a couple of weeks, and these are all merchants looking to come, and it happens once every year or so, and they'll make their entire year in this one festival. So it's a big deal for them, and a good time for all.
So, just remind me, you had said something along the lines of that each, like the cities were pretty closely, like within a day's walk of each other, generally speaking. Is that not the case right now, or?
No, yeah. So cities, no. Towns and villages are strategically placed about 20-25 miles apart. So
we've been stopping in towns every day.
Yeah, at this point, probably more villages than towns, just with where you are.
Sure.
Tunstead was a big town for where that was, and that was like 800, 1,000 people. And you guys probably each had to travel for a week to get there because you knew that was going to be the best bet to find a caravan. But aside from this, along the road has mostly been small villages. And that's where you are. All right, so as we're riding, I want you all to take a second and introduce your character appearance-wise. Without going your full backstory, let's get a better idea for your acquaintance. Is that the word?
Sure.
I've like Countancee. I think I've read it, and I don't think I've ever heard it spoken.
If you say it 3 times in a sentence, I think that makes it a word.
Is it countenance?
Countenance. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I learned something. There we go.
We're here to educate as well as to entertain, folks.
We're going to learn you a thing tonight.
So we'll start with Adam, just because he spoke.
Sure, I was going to volunteer to start anyway. So, Alistair is a human, around 6 foot, fairly tall, sort of shoulder length, blonde hair, for the most part clean shaven. Although if he tends to to have a long night out, he may skip shaving a couple of days, but he tries to look his best. Good-looking guy, wears fine clothes, always has his loot with him. Upon closer inspection, you can see that the clothes are not necessarily, this season's fashion, and they're a little worn in some places, but overall, he's somebody who typically looks his best.
Anybody else jump in?
Sure. So I'll be playing Denalcy. Like I said, she's a halfling druid. She's about 3 foot 4 inches. Red hair, mid-brown skin, lots of freckles, sea green eyes. And she's a bit of a walking disaster, but since she's been traveling with Tajeet for a while, it doesn't really look like much compared to him. So we'll get to why that is once it's Tajeet's turn. But she's pretty chill, but she does have a bit of a fiery temper going on. So it just depends. If you're doing her a solid, then she'll be cool with you as well. So there's my little druid girl.
On that note, we'll jump over to Tajeet.
All right. So Tajeet, he has a very, very like they said, very wild and an outlandish appearance to him. It's really out there. He's a male fire genasi, though fire genasi in a sense. Well, you'll see as we play that that's not really a real name for what he is, but he has that appearance. He's got like very, very crimson, dusty, red shaded skin. It's got scattered, bits and pieces of like very minute scales that sort of speckle around his wrists and his face and everything. So there's something very oblong or very weird about him. It's got wild patches of like white hair that sort of sporadically stick out off to every which way in different directions. You can see that patches of it are missing, and there's his headline. Does not wear shoes. He wears those sort of he wears like leather bands around, almost like anklets that you would expect a prisoner, but they're made of leather. Um, very, very weird attire. It's more as if it's not as if you have a poor person. It's as if you took a noble person's clothing. So very, what you would assume to be decent looking linen that's been, mangled over time, dirtied, sullied, ripped apart by whatever he's encountered, perhaps himself even. And he's just got a very wild and out there appearance that sort of suits his personality in a sense. He's got no definition in his eyes, he's got bright white eyes, and just he looks wild.
So yeah, I'm gonna take a second. Tajeet, for mechanical purposes, is a fire genasi. That's he's abiding by all the benefits and what you get from being a fire genasi, but that does not exist in this world. So he looks like a fire genasi. That's a thing, but Tajeet is a mystery. Everyone who would look at him, they've never seen anything like him before, and not really sure what he is. So that's that. We'll go Ryan next.
So I'm playing a Khajiit. He's a cheetah-like in appearance with blue eyes, very tall, about 6'1", wearing a chain shirt with a surcoat over the top of it. It's mostly red with kind of like a blue V design on it. 2 short swords that he wields in battle. Very slender, very dexterous, very swift on his feet. Yeah, I mean, really, there's not much else. Obviously, Tabaxi, if you don't know, they don't have paws. They have like humanoid hands. It's it's not like he's pawing blades or anything.
I still think it would be funny if he did have paws.
Yeah, but
Not
He's
at all
got the
useful.
sword clamped in between his paws, and he's like, "Fight me!"
Yeah.
fight me, bro.
It's a flesh wound. Come back, you can.
I'll be there in a minute. My claws are stuck to the carpet.
All right, that leaves Kelwin.
Yeah. So I'm playing Kelwin. He is a forest gnome. He is relatively short, 3'8". Does not look like he has much bulk to him whatsoever. Clearly seems to have lived somewhat of a cloistered life. But he looks middle-aged for a gnome, which means he's anywhere between, I don't remember, like 40 and 100 or something like that. He's got brown eyes, ruddy skin, brown umber hair, very kind of frenetic in energy, and for our purposes is entirely untrusting of Tajeet and by association Denalsi, which has not really changed since they've begun traveling together. That's it.
All right, so I'm just texting to Frank. So Crownhold is the capital of Ravanna, to answer Frank's question, and that is down at the southern tip of Navarra. Dorlomin is just a port, like a big port city. Everything travels through Dorlomin. Yes, thank you. We'll get a ping. So that's that. All right, so you guys, it's approaching dusk. Given the, you typically ride for 8-10 hours, and you hit a village or an inn or something, and you would expect it to be approaching soon, and you're exhausted. You haven't had a good night's sleep since you left Tunstead, and
where are we sleeping, by the way? Because we're stopping in towns, right? So we're just setting up camp or something.
There's usually an inn. Like every town or village has an inn, because that's travelers come through, and it's a solid business. The road goes through, people come through, they need a place to sleep. You're kind of guaranteed at least a caravan every couple of weeks or a person, every other night. It's something. And then it doubles as the village's tavern usually as well.
Okay.
But in places this remote, it's just been really shoddy quality, especially to what Kelwin is used to, being from where you are. You're accustomed to the finer things. It's a nice city, and this place is not.
Sure.
But yeah, so you're all kind of worn down, except for Quigglesmith, who the whole time has just been whistling and singing and chatting. It's just that guy on Monday morning, can't you just be miserable for a minute? And he just keeps talking about all his friends that he's going to see at the festival, and he's asked each of you at least 10 times. So Kelwin, have you been to the festival before?
Well, I can't say that I have. I don't know. Those sorts of things aren't that interesting to me usually, but there's a first time for everything, right?
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna love it. It's great. It's great. River, you've been to the festival, right?
I might have perused the festival once or twice. Never really got too involved.
See, he's been to this. That's spoken like someone who's been to the festival, and he gives you like an elbow. He kind of starts to turn to talk to Tajeet, and then remembers, and he's like, ah. So you guys think the inn's got to be close, right?
Why didn't you ask me if I've been to the festival?
Ask me. Have you been to the festival? Don't eat my toes.
Why, no, I haven't been to the festival, actually. It sounds like a good place. We should go there, Denalci.
Yes, we're almost there. I promise. Just a little bit longer, and then I'm just gonna look over to Alistair, and I'm just gonna be mouthing like, "Kill me," because we've had this conversation 18 times by now.
Yeah, this is Tajeet's version of "Are we there yet?"
Yes.
I don't see it.
It's okay. It's just a little ways off, buddy. You got this. You got this. And I'm just gonna sort of like look over at Alistair and like mime slicing my own throat open at this point.
Say, well, I for one am looking forward to the festival. Nothing like a group of fine folk enjoying music and food and merriment.
And booze.
Of course, the booze. That was. I thought that was obvious.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the booze. Everybody comes. You'll try stuff you haven't ever heard of. So they have this brandy, and there's a pear in the bottle. In the bottle. And he's looking like, how? That's the most amazing thing I've ever. No, it's a glass bottle, and they grow the pear in the bottle.
I actually think that is pretty
In the
cool.
bottle.
In the bottle.
Are there any glass
the
bottles in the cart with us right now?
Any glass bottles, you said?
Yeah, like empty glass bottle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna use my water skin. I'm gonna fill it up with water. I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking, like making eye contact with Quigglesmith for a bit, and then I'm gonna use Druidcraft to make an apple in there. Like, I just sort of like present it to him, like this.
You would expect him probably to be impressed, and he just looks so deflated.
It seems like it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, it's like when a magician reveals a trick and just all the magic is gone now. And he's just like, well...
I mean, if they did it without magic, then...
I mean, that's
a
nice trick. That's nice. That's okay.
Oh.
It just kind of goes quiet.
I thought I was going to blow his mind. I feel bad now.
All he did was crush his spirit.
Aww.
The child wonder is gone now.
The good news is he shut up for a few minutes.
That's true.
So, Quibblesmith, what sort of stuff do you do other than making potions? Are you just an alchemist?
Well, not an alchemist per se, because they can do... I mean, alchemists, have you... like, potions? Like, real potions? That's... I'm more like, like salves, tonics, you know, natural stuff. There's no magic in what I do. But God, I would love to learn, but it's hard. It's especially for someone like me, from the Outlands. I know what my father taught me, but that's a whole other thing.
That's quitter talk. Quigglesmith and I won't stand for it. You could do anything you put your mind to. I've known you now for a good 2 weeks, and I think you're a hell of a man.
You think so? Because my grandma, she always kind of told me, to sit down and shut up.
Well, I understand that part. You do talk a bit much.
How old does Quibblesmith look to me?
He's
a
young.
gnome too, right?
Quigglesmith is a gnome, and you would figure him for like early to mid 20s.
Got it. I would then ask him. So, have you lived kind of in that area your whole life? Is that where your family is from?
Well, originally we're from this a little bit more south. Still the Kipling Forest, but we kind of hung out around the southern edge. It was safer. We didn't have a tribe or anything, and you know how it can be for gnomes. So we try to stick closer to civilization.
Oh, well, always pleased to meet a fellow forest gnome. You mentioned your grandmother too. I don't know if and then he'll just kind of like look around and start switching to gnomish and being like, have you heard anything weird going on in the Kipling Forest? Or even further maybe, like the Wildwood?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of crazy stuff in the Wildwood. It's full of orcs and he's not talking in gnomish. He's answering in common. And
Nice try.
Kelwin's like face palming. He's like,
yeah. He's a nice guy. He's a little spacey.
He'll say, in gnomish, please. But I mean, okay, fine. I know that there are orcs in the Wildwood, but have you heard of anything more exotic than that? Like anything unusual happening over there from what you've heard? I mean, I know that you're not in the forest itself, but you're pretty close. So.
Well, I heard once about they call it like a fairy dragon, and it was like a dragon, but it was like tiny and friendly, and it would like do really cool magic and stuff, and it was kind of like an urban legend around for a little while, but that's about the coolest thing I've ever heard of. Like, how cool would it be to have a little fairy dragon pet, right?
Was that last part in Gnomish, or is he still answering in
Yeah,
common?
no, he answered in Gnomish.
Ah, damn it, because I would have been super interested, but never mind.
Kelwin will kind of just like look at him lovely and then kind of nod and be like, "Well, that's interesting. Thank you very much." It's pretty obvious that he's a little disappointed by that, but
yeah. Okay, yeah. So the road twists and it opens up, and you see before you a building, not a shanty, not a like a hut, like a legitimate inn. And as the road opens up, you're greeted with fresh air, and there's like a breeze, and it cools you, and it's all just like so welcoming. And you have arrived at the Talamir Inn.
I'm gonna get out of the cart, right? And I'm just gonna, nice, and I'm gonna approach the wall of this establishment, the outside wall. I'm like, it's just as you described it.
Who's responsible for him? Someone's got to make sure he doesn't blow more shit up.
I got it. I'm gonna use my quarterstaff to kind of like vault myself out of the cart next to him, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, this looks pretty legit. They might have ale that doesn't taste like piss here. I'm looking forward to that.
Looks very good. I'll approach with my face.
You're just shoving your face up against the wall?
Yes, I will shove my face and then get a little lick, and then I'll instantly turn away and start walking. Shouldn't we go inside? Yes.
One
Okay,
day,
yeah.
we're gonna come upon a building that he doesn't lick.
Yeah.
That will be a good day. And
It has been 0 days since Tajeet has licked the building.
So
I-
anyone with a passive perception of 12 or higher will notice Stable Boy come out. This is the stables down
I
down
do
here.
not. I don't notice him at all. I actually walk
I
past.
see
I
you.
bump into him, push him aside, and keep going without noticing who he is or what he does.
So yeah, he comes out and he's ready to go to the cart, and then he sees Tajeet like licking the building, and and he kind of like ducks back around the corner, just does like a swift like about face, and goes back into the stables.
Feel sorry for that guy.
I saw him, but I guess I probably was like, oh, hey, oh, as he's like walking off.
You can see him. He's still there. He's kind of poking his head out, just like waiting for the coast to be clear.
It's cool.
'Cause it's his
it's
job.
fine.
He has to come get the horses in the cart and stuff, but he's reluctant.
What
Yeah.
time of day is this?
Like dusk.
Okay. Do we have a system at this point for like who goes in and asks for rooms or things like that? Is it some of the caravan people who know the area, or is it like we would just go in and talk?
It's just a free for all.
Great. Kelwin's gonna wait until Tajeet goes somewhere else. He's gonna sit like patiently in the thing, just being like, go on, go on.
River, give me a perception check.
Absolutely.
So this place seems familiar to you. You can't put your finger on it, but you've got a deja vu thing going on.
Is there anything in particular that seems to stand out to me?
It's just the general, like the building is. It's how do I put it? It sticks out. Like it's not what you're accustomed to. It's not what you would expect. Being in the middle of the woods the way it is, this is like a nice big like 24 room inn with stables, and you can tell it's got like a good sized tavern. Like it's in Dorlomin, it would be, right at home or like a big city, but out here it's like running into like a, I don't know, like a Hyatt and like a, or like a hotel, like 14-story hotel in like a town of like 200 people. It just is. So there's that, and it just looks familiar. You know what I mean? Like you see somebody and they look familiar and you can't place them. It's the same thing with the building.
Yeah, I feel you. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling the rest of us that you find it familiar as well, or no?
No.
Okay.
It's none of our business.
That's right.
Just wondering.
All right, so the stable boy eventually kind of musters up his courage and tries to like get about business as quick as possible without attracting any attention, and goes and gets the cart and the horses and starts talking to Quigglesmith, because obviously it's his cart and he is kind enough to let you ride in it, you non-horse having people. He starts arranging to stable his horses, and you hear him pitching for only a few copper. He can reshoe them, and Quigglesmith is, he's agreeing, and they're negotiating that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Well,
go
Outside on them?
yeah, while they're talking, I'm going to just pat Quigglesmith on the shoulder and say, I'll go see about some rooms for the evening. And I'll start heading inside.
All right.
I'll go with him.
Yep. I'll come too.
I want to go to the bar, if there is one.
The bar. Of course it's a bar.
Yeah, it's a
Bar.
I'm going to the bar too.
Oh,
All right, so this is going to be a little experiment, because I'm not sure what info from a GM overlay is shown.
None.
I'm hoping
Nothing.
not.
Nothing.
Okay,
You're the
good.
only one who should be able to
Not
see
get
that.
a bunch of spoilers otherwise.
This
Battle
is
map.
That is the
Battle
whole
map.
point of a
we're
GM
looking at my
overlay.
screen.
I had assumed that was the case, but then when the moment came to switch the player thing over, I was like, oh shit, what if they know everything?
That is.
All right, so
What a cute little tavern.
yeah, many thanks to whoever it was, DJ somebody something on DeviantArt has a whole bunch of these awesome battle maps. It makes public to everybody. Okay.
Battle maps.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, all right, yeah.
Hey, run!
We about to throw down, son.
He's a builder of many taverns for free.
We about to throw some hands.
Not if we can help it.
I know.
I can throw my hands? Wait.
Called Mage Hand. You'll figure it out. All right, if you guys want to drop some tokens right by the door. And River, give me another perception check with advantage. Oh, shit, you guys are big.
Oh, yeah.
Beefy.
So a halfling tavern.
Well, it's just like occupy
Apparently.
and can control this 5-foot square. Oh, with advantage.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
You know where you are now. This is the Talamir Inn. As soon as you walk in, you see this old man waiting right by the door to greet you. His name is Canute. Canute, you've been here before. Him and his wife and his 2 kids run this inn, and he's fucking awesome. You love Canute.
Mm-hmm.
And he immediately remembers you. And he goes, "Oh, Master River, so good to see you."
Ah, Canute! It's been too long. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna embrace him.
He's embraces you back, and kind of quietly as you do, he's like, "Where's Kato? Is he outside?"
I would rather talk about that some other time. Me and my friends require some rest. Do you have a room for us? We can only we only need 1 if need be, but 2 would be preferable.
Sure. It's 1
Elbow will
gold.
pipe up. 2 would be very preferable.
I agree.
He has been like quietly following behind River, just like basically using his body as kind of like coverage. To...
So you don't want to share a bed with Tajeet then? No?
Yeah, bro, it'd be nice.
No,
you know?
that's definitely not what Kelwin is worried about.
Sleepover.
All right. So yes, absolutely. It's 2 gold for a room with a private bathroom, and 1 gold, and you have a communal bathroom at the end of the hall.
We'll take the communal bathroom. I'm sure I'll pay you in the morning if that is fine.
Of course.
I say the gnome and I will take the room with the private bathroom, and I go to my pouch. I was going to pull out a coin, and I say, but I can't help but notice that you don't have anyone playing any music here. The stage is empty. There's a piano just sitting there. I wonder if maybe we could make a deal. See, I'm quite the musician. You've probably heard of me. Alistair Grant is the name. And I'd love to entertain the fine folks, well, for no cost to you, of course, but maybe for a little bit of a discount on the room.
Canute looks at you, and he's dealt with this before, and he goes, "I'll tell you what. You want to play? You're more than welcome. It'll still be 2 gold for the room, but your dinner and first 2 drinks are on the house."
I think that's fair, and I walk over to the stage and I say, Kelwin, pay the man.
So River, you get a chuckle right now because you know Canute, and you know that his policy, like his prices, like a gold and 2 gold, because I know you guys don't know my economy, is high. Like this is like steep for an inn, but it is a very nice inn, and it includes meals, 3 meals a day for as long as you're there, and 2 drinks. Or like if you get like swill, it's kind of like open bar, but like so he just offered him like what was already free.
Yeah, the continental breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Got
go
it.
over
So
to
how
the
much is it?
stage.
2 gold.
2 gold.
Okay. Kelwin will look in his little pouch and be like, well, yes, I mean, I don't have that much money, but, sure, Alistair. And, he will take out 2 gold pieces and give them to the innkeeper.
All right.
I'm gonna head over to the stage and whip out my pan flute and start doing a little accompaniment to whatever piano music Alistair is playing.
All right.
I will.
Oof, I'm not doing that well on the piano. I should have stuck with the lute.
She's
We're
helping you.
level 1.
It's good enough for this
Good.
group.
Mono
Should I roll as well, or no?
Well, since he's already rolled, you roll as well. It would have been with advantage, but there you go. You guys are doing an okay job. It's passable. And so you see this table with the green and yellow and redly clad folks right here?
Yep.
Those are clearly performers. And you can see, like, as you're playing, they're like, yeah, and they start clapping, along, and then they're drumming along and kind of adding to your melody. And then one of them starts to sing, and he comes up and he's like, friend, do you know the Tuck-tailed Coward of Brookhaven?
Well, of course I do. That one is pretty common, and I'll start to play it.
So
I'll just improv some shit because I don't fucking know what that song is.
So, yeah, okay. So, sorry, 1 second. A little typing. Hey guys, dead
What is
air.
he typing, I wonder?
I don't know.
Our demise. He's gonna enter the secret DM.
Whisper, make a perception check for the demons.
Yeah, that's right.
So much for the whispering part, huh?
Hey,
All right,
whisper.
so they start going into it, and they get the chorus, and it's he sang and he danced and he lied and he ran, the tuck-tailed coward from Brookhaven. Not a shred of honor, barely a man. The tuck-tailed coward, the whole, they're getting like the whole place singing, they're jumping. The tuck-tailed coward from Brookhaven.
Oh gosh.
And so everybody, they're all drinking, and it's you've brought the inn together.
Yeah, so far this has been the nicest stop we've had.
All right. So you guys what do you want to do? Table, go to your rooms, hit the bars. I think somebody said they were going to the bar, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take my food at the bar.
All right. So you'll see Quigglesmith when he comes in with his. Oh, I have these guys at the wrong table. That's okay. So yeah, Quigglesmith comes over here to the table all the way to the left, and joins what looks to be some other merchants that he seems to know. And so him and a couple people with him, they sit down and they're all talking and getting jolly. So the barkeep comes out and she goes, River, good to see you. You'll remember her name is Brigella. This is Canute's wife.
Brigella.
And she passes out menus. You very rarely ever see. It's like we have this or this. She gives you a full-on menu with a wine list, and they have steak and mutton and a pasta, and it's just very, very pleasantly surprised.
Brigella, I noticed on the menu, I don't see anything about milk. Did you ever get this on the menu?
Yes, we got a goat. I don't want to say just for you, but we got goat's milk.
However much it costs, please. I would like a glass if you wouldn't mind.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I also.
Room, didn't you?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, but you got a room, right?
Yeah, that is correct. Our nice little.
You're fine, honey. And she goes out, and it takes her a couple minutes. And she comes back in, and it's warm. She just went out and milked the goat.
As fresh as ever. Thank you, Brigella. And I'll sip it up.
Gotta love that sweet, sweet goat juice, bro. I say, I'm like that's in character as I'm sipping my ale.
Yes, and can you while you're doing so, and I've adopted a very very high-minded position for a second. Can you also go in the back and get the toenails, miss? And I'll just stick my head in the menu. Something wrong?
Nope. Just, and she kind of like leans over to let's see, where's Tajeet?
He's right here.
All right, so she'll kind of lean over to like Alistair and Denalcy and just give a look like, you serious?
Sadly, he is. I can't explain it myself. He'll forget about the toenails. He'll forget about the toenails eventually. Just take a while with everybody else, and he'll think of something new.
That's okay. The customer is always right. Let me see what I can do.
Oh, well, I have to say, this is excellent customer service. I've seen some very poor customer service in my time. So, very well done.
Well, if you aim to please. And she disappears into the back. And
giggling into my ale the whole time. I'm just loving this shit.
I very much like that one. Very nice.
It's like 15 minutes. Like a good chunk of time passes. Enough where right here in the red, this is Canute and Brigella's daughter. Her name is Mabel. And she is kind of acting as the waitress. And she's had to come and refill your drinks because her mother still isn't back. And finally, she comes out and she has this plate of mutton, and there's just toenails and fingernails sprinkled all along the top. And she goes, "I'm sorry, I didn't know how you cook them." And she puts it down in front of you.
I'll put a look at the. Wait. And it'll pick this up, and it'll pick up a fingernail. I'm like, what is this?
I didn't have a lot of.
Another one. And I start picking out the fingernails.
Wait, I'm just gonna look over and be like, no, dude, those aren't fingernails, bro. Those are just really little toes, man.
You can't trick me.
How? And at this point, I'm just gonna be like, okay, Plan B, and I'm gonna make a nice blue rose, and I'm gonna give it to him. Like, here you go, buddy. How about you put this on the side with it? You know?
It'll push the entire plate on. Ooh, that's very nice. Ooh.
Nice deep blue rose, and I'm just like, thank you. I'm gonna look over at Brunella, and I'm just gonna be like, thank you so much. I've never seen anybody else be so accommodating to him. Wow. And I'm just gonna take out. I don't have gold, for the record, because I'm a druid, and where would I get that? So I'm going to just take out like a handful of small freshwater pearls that I have and just give them to her.
Okay.
That's what I have. So I have now I have like 1 gold's worth of tiny freshwater pearls, and I'm going to give it to her.
Awesome. She is very appreciative. It's most people will be like, "What the?" And she appreciates this more than gold. She's like, These are beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And
I think they'll look lovely on you.
I think so too. And,
Can the rest of us who want to eat normal things get some food, please?
Hey, no toenails. I'll take some of the mutton, but hold the toenails if you could.
Yeah, no, that looks good, but no toenails, please.
I'll have his.
Like, Kelwin's also like surreptitiously writing in his little mini diaries, like, subject appears to enjoy toenails.
Oh, you would have known that by now after 2 freaking weeks.
Yeah,
But now it's been proven.
It's confirmed.
Wait, is this something where he's always asked for toenails everywhere we've gone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like this is his flavor of the day. This is his thing always.
It's
But now,
amazing.
but we.
This was like so much, like this is so much his thing. It happened in the audition game that we were both in.
It's true.
Okay, good to know.
So,
Well established.
So then
All right.
Kelwin will underline and circle the note he made several days
Underline.
ago. Subject
Circle.
appears to enjoy toenails. Like, And he'll nudge River and be like, I mean, how are we safe? I mean, you saw how he went last time. I don't want to be near him if that happens again.
Look, as soon as we get to Dorlomin, everything will be fine. We can all part ways. Until then, we don't really have much of a choice. And I'm going to take out 1 silver. I'm going to slide on the counter after I finish my milk. Thank you, Brigetta.
Oh, that's too kind. Thank you. She pockets it.
Say, so River, you've been here before, I take it.
Once or twice as I was traveling through, yes.
What do you know about this place, other than the service is great and the food is tasty?
Dan, do I know anything special about this place, or?
Not really. Canute inherited it from his father, who won it from someone else in a game of cards. It used to be, so way back when the Kipling Forest was wild, not the wildwood, but not civilized to the extent that it is now. This was a fort. So it's a picture like a war against, local goblins or just native tribes or whatever. And this was kind of a stronghold for the area.
About the town, not too much. The inn itself used to be a fort. Someone won it in some kind of gamble. I try not to pry too much into these things, but I will say that, as you've noted, the service here is great. They offer milk. It's a nice reprieve from the wilderness. I don't know what else more you would want from it.
Oh, fair enough. I couldn't help but notice the gentleman who greeted us at the door mentioned, a bloke by the name of Cato.
Yes, it was a traveling companion, if you will. Someone who meant very much to me and to Canute as well.
Aye. So what happened?
Cato had kind of an unfortunate accident. I'd rather not talk about it, if that's okay with you. Let's keep the air light.
No, of course. I don't mean to pry. It's, me background as a biographer, you understand. I'm just interested in other people, and you're a fascinating subject, I must say.
Yes, well, truth be told, it's been a few weeks, but I try not to wear my heart out on my sleeve so much. Maybe give it some time. Maybe I'll have a drink. Brigella, could I have some of that ale, please?
Look at this. I don't think I've ever seen him drink anything besides milk. And I just say that out loud to nobody in particular. I'm just excited.
Sure. All right, so by now you guys have been here for a little while. You've kind of gotten a feel for the vibe of the tavern. And you have gathered that this table right here, you see that one? Oh, I just moved the guy.
Yep.
They're dicks. So they're just loud and just the kind of people who have no regard for those around them. And they're throwing, knives and axes at the dartboard there, just like with abandon. So they're like, oh, like one of them will come over here. So they're like throwing it over like 3 tables and trying to do a fancy shot and just, being assholes. But now you see the waitress is getting them new drinks, and they've been kind of hassling her the way, like waitresses in taverns get hassled. But now one of them has pulled her into his lap, and she's like kind of fighting off against him, and he's holding her, and he's just being a dickhead. And she finally like uses force against him, and he just like throws her to the ground. And as she falls to the ground, she knocks over like 2 mugs of beer with her, and they go clashing to the ground. And this guy here, who's standing up, who he's throwing knives at the dartboard. He's got a beer in his hand too, and she's like on her hands and knees on the ground, and he's like, "Oi, you spilled!" And he throws his beer like down on the ground so that it splashes up into her face.
Did Bergella give me that glass of ale?
No.
Okay, cool.
And so there's just like everybody, in the tavern has seen it, and there's just this kind of awkward silence.
I'll just turn from my bar stool. I don't get any closer, but I say, "It's no way to treat a lady."
And they just kind of look at you like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?"
I'll walk over. Is she still on the ground? I'll go and help her up.
Yeah, no, she's like trying to clean up and pick up the mugs. And so as you approach, this one here stands up, and you can see this is a goblin, just like, which is not common to see in public. And as you approach, he stands up and blocks your path, and he's like, "This is our table. Back the fuck up."
I just look around, and I say, "Now, who said that?" And I don't look down, so I'm not looking at him. I'm just looking over him. And I said, are one of you fuckers throwing your voice? What an incredible trick.
Wait, what are her parents? What are Mabel's parents doing right now?
Yeah, I was just about to try to talk to Brunella. Like, do you want us to get rid of these guys or what?
So Brugella has disappeared into the back to she was getting something, and Canute kind of comes like running over, but then isn't really sure what to do. You can see he's scared, and he like wants to do something, but he doesn't. And now this guy has stood up over here, and he's like a very finely dressed, well-to-do looking man. And the way he carries himself, he's like, "Yes, I say, good." I'm getting crazy.
Yeah, we're getting feedback there.
From me?
I don't know.
Is anyone listening to the
have,
stream?
Like,
if you have the stream
the
up,
streams
maybe
are
mute
not
the
muted?
stream.
No, I haven't muted on my
Or it
screen.
might be coming through somebody's speakers.
Yeah.
I've got headphones on.
Yeah, so it's
Ditto.
probably not you.
I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, now it seems to be gone.
Is it just when I speak?
No.
No,
Okay,
it was,
all right.
it's gone now.
Okay, so back to
It wouldn't be a Wicked Studios production without some sort of technical difficulties.
Yeah, right. I mean, as far as session 1 goes, it could be a lot worse. Return to the Band of Kingdoms. But yeah, so he stands up and he's like just this. You can tell he's like a windbag. He's just not a threatening or imposing figure at all. But he stands up and he's like straightening his. He's like, I say, sir, that is very poor behavior indeed. And his wife's like pulling on his thing. He's like, no, literally, I must speak my mind. I must say my piece. You, sir, you must apologize. And these guys are looking aggressive.
I am just doing whatever I can to like also help the girl up, but kind of shield her because I know that she's a target too right now.
Sure.
What the heck is happening? How does an establishment this big not have any security? I don't understand. Like, didn't we just pay 2 gold? I demand security. Someone's going to like run away.
Yes. I demand security, and I'll have a bunch of toenails in my mouth. I'll follow along. I demand security.
Kelwin drops a minor illusion of a boulder where his bar stool he was sitting in is, and is repeating his hiding trick.
His go-to.
His go-to, exactly. He's hiding.
He walks back.
So there's this kind of like tense moment where it looks like at any second whether the bandits are going to, the dickheads are going to attack, or what? But it looks like there's no way this is not going to end in violence. And then, almost on Kelwin's cue, a group of guards walk in, like city, like road patrol guards, not like private hired
Medieval
guards.
highway patrol.
Yeah, like the cops, whatever you want,
The chips of the Middle Ages.
Yep.
One of those guys looks like Thor.
Yeah.
He's got a hammer and a cape.
Guard Thor. Royal Guard
Thor.
Thor.
Yeah, there you go.
And it kind of like all just diffuses.
So how many of them are there? There's 3, and then 3 and the 4 including the goblin. Right?
Yes, 4 including the goblin. Yep.
So again, I just look over the goblin at the other 3 and say, "You're in trouble now. The guards are here. Maybe it's time to act like gentlemen and sit down, enjoy your drink, enjoy your food, or get out."
They just kind of sit down, and I don't think like you can't tell whether it's because of what you said or like if you're just piggybacking on the guards being here, but the situation seems to.
I take it that I did it.
Itself. Of course.
Of course you would.
And as I walk to the bar, I turn to Denalci and I say, "I am so fucking glad it did not turn into a fight because I almost pissed myself." And then,
I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder or as high as I can reach from the bar stool and be like, you did good, buddy." And then I'm gonna turn over to Mabel and I'm just gonna say, "Hey, so that probably sucked. Can I get you a drink?"
Whoa.
I thought someone was doing a really good Mabel.
I thought that was you.
We found a role for one of your daughters out.
yeah.
There you go.
All right. So yeah, she kind of looks shaken up, and she's like, "Thank you. I just," and she kind of disappears into the back.
Yep. Is her mom out yet?
Yes, she came out like just before the guards walked in.
Okay, I'll just like very quickly explain to Brunella what happened, and then I'm gonna druidcraft some really pretty multicolored roses, and I'm like, why don't you give these to Mabel so that she'll feel better, because flowers fix everything in my experience. And also, I'm sorry that whole thing happened, because that sucks. But there you go, and I just like give her this, like I just let her know what happened and point over to who was involved with that, and
Sure.
give her the flowers for Mabel.
And she kind of, she like thanks you, and you can see she's like trying to make light of it. And she's like, that's the tavern business. It's okay. And she's putting on like a brave face and heads into the back. And and then Canute goes back as well. And a few minutes, if that, pass, and you can hear them in the back arguing. And it's kind of muffled. Give me perception. Anybody who's trying to eavesdrop.
Oh, I'm trying to eavesdrop.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to tone it.
Perception is not.
You're
I got
Oh.
a 6.
Yeah,
Kelwin
mine
is
wasn't that
actually looking around at the other patrons here to see if anyone else looks like an unusual character. And he's not listening to them, though. And he's also hiding under a table over here still.
So off the top of just like immediately you see there's some locals. You can tell or just at least they look like woodsy, like they're not travelers. So you can tell there's definitely like some merchants over here that are clearly traveling through. The performers are probably on their way to the festival as well. The guy who stood up over here clearly is not from around here. He's way too finely dressed, and just the way he speaks, it's more like you would think like Gallavastia, like that sort of deal. This guy over here at the end of the bar is the biggest fucking Goliath you've ever seen.
Oh.
Just a monster of a creature.
I think to myself, why didn't he do anything?
Kelwin
So
is
actually,
going to...
give me a retconned perception check and see if you noticed it.
Like, what? Are we all doing perception checks, or?
Yeah. Anybody who just... Yeah.
I did one worse, so 5.
Oh, boys.
You've got that, Raleigh.
My passive perception is 14.
That's cool. All right, so you actually would, Denalci and Kelwin both would have noticed that when this guy stood up and started to speak, the Goliath stood up as well.
Oh. I just sort of look over at Alistair, and I'm just like, well, some people speak with words and some people speak with muscles, so, good to know that he's here.
Well, I mean, he didn't do anything, so if we were in the middle of a fight, I feel like I would have been pummeled.
Right, but it wasn't like fight time yet. He was probably just hanging out to see if a fight was gonna happen, but thankfully it didn't, and we can all just fucking drink in peace.
So I turn over to Tajeet and to River, and I say, since we've been traveling together, we probably should have established this from the start. You all are the muscle. So when I get myself into a situation that I'll never get myself out of alone, I'm going to need your help. So you don't even necessarily need to do anything. I turned to Tajeet and said, you just do what you do. And then I turned to River and I say, now you've got an air of mystery about you. You got those swords that look really cool. So you just stand there, you put your hands on your swords and you just give them a look. You know that look? Yeah, you're doing it right now. That one, that look right there, that cat look that gets so intimidating. I said, and you just stand there behind me. Now, of course, if push comes to shove, you take the swords out, you do what you gotta do. But ultimately, we need to keep the fighting to the people who are more qualified for it.
Well, let's just put things out in the open. I'm not going to draw my swords in the middle of an inn. You, by all means, should know what that means if you do such a thing.
Well, I'm just saying for intimidating... Okay, that's fair enough. How are you with a punch to the face?
I mean, I'm going to... on the end of my
hand. Yes, that is exactly it. Exactly what I'm talking about. Do that is much better than the swords. Do that every time.
Punch? I suppose if it will help keep things on the low, I suppose I could brandish these claws of mine. If it,
right, and we're not talking about the fact I'm certainly not going to do anything to get myself into any untoward trouble. I mean, usually. But what can happen is when I do something with some unexpected heroism like we saw earlier today. That's when I'm really going to get myself into trouble because it's an unusual situation for me.
And I blow them up, right?
No, you hold off on that until maybe once we get into the alley.
Yeah, we can do that outside the bar, just not indoors. And then I'll just look over at Alistair and I'll just be like, don't worry, bro, we got your back. It's all good. And don't underestimate me either. I might be tiny,
I saw you with your knife there. I'm just saying, and this is to no offense to you, of course, but you're a wee bit of a thing. So if you stood up behind me... Well, I know all of the cool things that you can do, or at least I saw something with a frozen knife that looked awesome, but not everybody sees that, so you're the secret weapon. So when shit really starts going down, then you pull out all of that crazy stuff you do, and you pull out your magic knives and all that, and they won't see it coming.
Okay, alright, I can deal with that. Although, I like what you did with the goblin, but just FYI, that was kind of heightist.
So, I know, be careful, and I wouldn't do that normally. And of course, I'm
I'm giving you shit. I know,
but I don't know that. So I feel like I'm a lover of all peoples, but this is a goblin, let's say. I mean, he's an evil bastard, and he was being a prick to the woman over there, so I had to at least make him feel a little bit insignificant, just as a taste of his own medicine.
As this conversation is going on, Kelwin has gone up to the Goliath and is tugging on his shorts, like basically reaching up to try to tug on the bottom of his shorts or pants or whatever.
So he looks down, and you like immediately are like, oh,
no.
A serious-looking dude, and he just grabs you by the scruff of the neck and picks you up and puts you on the bar. He looks at you like, what?
I'm sorry, I just wanted to... You looked really interesting, so I just was gonna ask you some questions.
Oh. Hey, you can see him, like, kind of soften. Right? Like...
Hey, no one ever asked me any questions.
All right. And,
where are you from?
Like,
I've never seen a Goliath as big as you. Are there more like you?
You've never seen a Goliath as big as me. I'm the biggest one there is.
How big do you get?
I'm having this conversation right now.
Yeah. Like they're way over here. I don't.
Kelwin's yelling at Tajeet. He's like, "Stay away!"
Not about you.
Well, I'm Kelwin. Very nice to make your acquaintance. Yeah,
I'm
like, I'm sorry, what?
Apamok Stone Smasher.
Kamak Stone Smasher. Okay, that's a great name, by the way. Very, very intimidating. Do you have a clan? Do you travel with other Goliaths? Or are you from a clan of Goliaths?
I am from a clan of Goliaths. I do not travel with them anymore.
Oh, does it look like he's? Is it a favorable and neutral like look when
He's like really stoic and stern and hard to read.
Okay. Oh well, I'm always I'm a traveling scholar, you see, and I'm looking for information about unusual activity and unusual creatures. You know, like that guy over there. And he'll gesture over at Tajeet, very subtly, like it's like that guy over there.
Yeah.
Have you seen any or heard of any weird occurrences anywhere in Ravanna? You seem like you'd be well traveled and obviously can hold your own.
He kind of shrugs. He's like, sure, I've seen all kinds of stuff. Your friend there, he's cursed.
So that's not just how he's not supposed to look.
You ever seen anybody like that before?
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he's like dangerous. He's like crazy. He waves his knife around and he like blew up and killed some kids.
Did we establish, did they live or not from session 0?
Yeah, there's a couple dead kids from the session.
Yeah, that was...
God damn it.
Nice.
So, no, come on.
She was like they were beating the shit out of him, so it was
self-defense.
Yeah, like he didn't know whether they were just gonna knock him out or beat him. Like it's understandable.
But over the last couple weeks, we would have like known like it's because of the situation. Like he's not a child killer.
No, not at all.
No.
No.
I mean, we'll see what
Dragon.
happens the next time. We haven't come across that many children, to be fair.
He probably
Not a
had been
child.
overly aggressive towards you.
Not a child killer. Let me think about that one for a second.
So, hang on one second. Before we continue, can we back it up for a minute there? So, Kelwin, you're basically saying that you're Newt's commander looking for fantastical creatures and where to find them, because that's what I got out of this situation right now.
I mean, I'm not gonna meta it, so you don't know. But there is a very good reason for everything that he does. I'll just
Right.
say.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure. I just couldn't.
And I will say there is no good reason for anything Alistair does. Nothing he does is planned out.
Okay, so I mean, I haven't seen anyone like that before, but if you haven't seen anyone like that before, then how do you know it's a curse?
Anything I've ever seen that I couldn't explain was some crazy fucking wizard doing something he shouldn't.
Huh. That's a good theory, actually. I hadn't considered that, and he'll like kind of quickly write down in his little diary. It's like maybe a curse. But he likes to eat like toenails and things. I don't know. That seems like a really weird thing for a curse, and he doesn't seem to know anything about society. Kind of makes it sound like he came from somewhere not from our society. You know what I mean? Like aliens.
Does Ravanna have a concept of aliens? We're about to find out.
Crop circle.
It's like the word. Yeah. I mean, maybe not in the traditional like space travel.
Yeah, not UFO, but I mean, like, yeah,
But,
aliens
a
means
word
like
for
things
people
outside
not of your world.
By the way,
Hey,
if you
kind of-
haven't read The Alienist, I would recommend it.
Here you go. So when you say that, he kind of like looks around and he leans and he's like, all right, so I did see one time I saw a guy bigger than me. You know, I mean bigger than me. And he gets like real low. And, like he's kind of like looking around. It's like he's telling you a secret right now.
Like, how much bigger? Like a bear?
So he grabs you by the scruff of the neck and kind of like picks you up again, so you stand on the bar, and then he stands up, and he's still like, even though you're standing on the bar, he's so much taller than you, and he's like, you to me to him.
Kelwin's like furiously scribbling down. And where exactly did you see this? Where did you see this creature? Did it like stand on two legs like you and I, or was it like a four-legged creature? Or
all right, so we're gonna come back to this. So everybody over at the normal side of the bar. Normal,
he says.
You don't need to roll anything.
I
normal
do
side,
not
like
notice a
other
thing.
side rather, like
I
over here
perceive
towards
nothing.
this side. You can hear Canute and Brugella arguing in the back, and it's muffled, but it's just subtle. Like you can hear it's like, no, that's enough, and it's like, what are we gonna? And it just, yeah, like she seems upset, and he seems like he doesn't know what to do. That's as much as you can gather, and it's gone on too much, too far, and at this point, Denalci.
Mm-hmm.
The guy sitting next to you, who is drunk, but like he is a salty dog veteran of being drunk. He is a drunk. He leans over and he like puts his arm around you, as you know, barflies will do, and he's like, it's a damn shame what's happening to these poor people. And his wife's like, oh, Gary, shut the fuck up. She doesn't want to hear your bullshit. And he's like, damn it, woman, you don't own me. And it's just a damn shame. And he's like just breathing all over you, and he smells like a brewery. And it's, yeah.
Yeah. As unpleasant as this situation is, I do I want to know more. So I'm just like, dude, yeah, like, does this sort of thing happen all the time? Like, what's going on here, man?
As those fucking Caspin. That fucking guy. And he was talking, then he said his name and he whispered. So you can see there's like a little bit of fear there, even as drunk as he is.
And the name is Gaspin, you said?
Caspin, with a C.
Caspin. Okay. Oh, so that was the guy who was being a dick over there, huh?
Yeah, so the one who pulled the waitress onto his lap seems to, from what as much time as you've been here, you gather he seems to be in charge, and it's this guy here.
He was quite frightening, quite an intimidating one. Yes.
I have written him into my notes as the leader of the Dicks.
Leader of the Dicks.
I just wrote Caspin equals dick.
Yeah.
Shorthand.
Yeah.
So, River, give me one more perception check.
All right, straight up.
Yep.
Ooh, there
shit.
you go.
You
First
realize
nat 20 of the game.
Yeah. You perceive all.
that's right.
You can see
I
through time and space.
Just because I don't know what else are you gonna do. So, you remember now that it took you, you're surprised it took you this long to Canute and Brugella have 2 children. I mean, they're grown. They're adults because Canute and Brugella are both like 50-ish, give or take. But there's Mabel, and then they have a son, Dodd. And you haven't seen Dodd.
Mabel and Dodd.
Mabel and Dodd.
Okay.
And right as you remember this, you hear Garrus lean in. He's like, they've been coming in here and causing trouble, and then you heard what happened to their son, right? And it's like very clear to anybody else in here that you are like not from here and you're travelers, but he's thinking you're up on the local gossip.
And I just look up and I'm like, no, tell me more. I'm milking it. I'm not enjoying it, but I'm milking it.
I'm just going to lean my ear a little more interested now, obviously.
No, nobody knows, what happened, but Dodd, he's always around here, and him and Caspin, they never got along, and now Dodd's gone, and no one's saying anything, We all know. And his wife's like, or the woman next to him, if you haven't gathered, it's just the way she's like pulling on him. It's his wife, and she's like, shh, don't Garrus, shh. She's like, they killed him.
I just look up at him and I'm just like, oh yeah, that sounds really, really bad. And
Kill
like,
that
so, like,
What did they use?
so like, what else did like, do they know how or like where or like, I gotta know, man.
I don't know how to kill someone. You stab him. They stabbed him, I bet.
Okay. Yeah, that would suck. And how long ago did that happen?
That was about a month and a half ago. And his wife's like, it was 7 days ago. Last week.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, hopefully he's not dead, but like, that definitely sounds suspicious. I can see why you're thinking. I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah, people, they like to, make fun of old Garrus, but he's always watching. He's always thinking.
Is he watching right now?
Say,
Holy
that's
shit, you're
Garrus right
different.
there. It's the fucker talking, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not some a secret, invisible bloke. It's the guy right there.
Visible.
And so now, Brigilla and Canute come out, and you can see she's like trying to like compose herself, and she's like wiping away tears, and he looks kind of distraught as well. And we'll jump back over to Kelwin. Actually, we'll take a quick break for about halfway through. And look at that, right on the dot. My timing.
Nice work. Wow, you're like clockwork.
Right? And so take a little break, and we'll come back and see what Kelwin and the Goliath are going to get up to. I kind of want to give you guys your own little side campaign.
Yeah, no, that's going to be our third stream, Kelwin and the Goliath.
Oh, God.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
BRB! I'm ready. My other cat is now coming over, so she's probably going to be in the
And
camera
your
at some
cat
point.
is just in time for us to be back here in Ravanna.
Exactly 10 minutes.
Looks like Denalsi just gained a familiar.
Yeah.
Is this how you get familiar?
All right, so where were we? Kelwin and Apamak? Apamak.
Yeah, Akamak Stone Smasher.
That's right. So where did you guys leave off? Refresh my memory.
We were
talking.
he was telling me that he had seen someone that was as large to him as he was to me. And I was asking him, if he stood on 2 legs, 4 legs, where he had seen this, just like general particulars about his encounter with this creature.
Sure. Yeah. He says it was a man. It was too big, and this was deep, far, far north. The Eldoran Mountains, the Eldoran Wood. I was just a boy at the time, but that I've seen the effects of magic, and it didn't strike me the same.
Okay, and Kelwin's obviously frantically kind of recording this. So that's really interesting. Did you see it do anything? Like, did it just did it speak? Does it have a language? Did it see you?
It tried to eat me.
Oh God, that's not good.
Did it
Okay.
taste good?
Tried to eat Akamak. Okay. Did you tell others about it? Anyone else in your tribe? What do they have to say about it?
No, I've actually never told anyone this before. You see, I had to flee from this monster, and in my tribe, running from a fight is the most dishonorable thing you can do. So if I had told anyone, I would have had to leave my home in shame.
Oh. Well, thank you very much for sharing this information with me. It's very useful. Maybe it'll make it into my next periodical.
He grabs you by the scruff and kind of like his hand's so big he kind of gets your throat a little bit, even though he's not supposed meaning to. And it's like, you will tell no one.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't going to use your name or anything. I was just going to describe the.
You will tell no one.
Oh.
All right, what we got?
Okay.
Let's I don't know. And hold on a second. I'm gonna try muting myself and you guys talk and. Still echo? No echo?
No, there's still echo. Yeah, there's still echo.
We want to try muting one by one and.
I like to think of it as so nice you're hearing it twice.
That's right.
I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, now it disappeared again.
All right. Well, hopefully it'll stay gone. All right. So jump back into it. Yeah. He's he gets real serious and this is you tell a shameful secret. And he doesn't want anybody to know anything about it ever.
Okay. I won't tell anyone about it. I can't even mention the fact that there was a giant, not even mentioning the Goliaths or anything like that.
And he puts you down and he smooths out your shirt and he's like, now you're getting it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Where are you going, by the way? Do you live here now? I could use some protection.
He kind of rolls his eyes and he gestures his head over towards the well-dressed people by the stage and says, I'm with them.
Oh, I see. You're to protect them. I probably can't pay you as much as they can. Kelwin looks a little crestfallen. But are they traveling too? Are they from this area, or are they?
It's not my business to say.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, your information has been extremely valuable to me, Sir Akamak, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Then Kelwin will give a little half bow and then scurry away.
And he goes back to his drink. But yeah, I'm hearing that echo like crazy. So
Yeah.
everybody's got the Twitch thing muted, right? And it's
Yeah.
so it's just got to be an echo with the feed.
I don't even have
I
Twitch.
got a headset.
You're the only one without a headset. I'm just going to
I
point that
know.
out, Jairus.
I know, but I muted myself. All right, so we got echo. We got echo. Somebody else talk.
Hey,
Hello,
everybody.
test check.
We're all going to
Hi.
talk at the same time now to see how much echo we could get.
All
I
of
hear
the
it all.
echo.
Yeah, it's all there.
All of the echo.
All right, so I was just muted. The echo is still there, right?
Yeah.
All right, so somebody else try muting.
All right.
All right.
It looks like he's Ryan muted himself, but we can still hear the echo, so it's not
All right.
Ryan.
So,
Is everybody
Is everybody?
I can hear it real bad now. Off on Roll20, their settings on Roll20?
Yeah, mine is set to broadcast and receive nothing on Roll20, so yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was me all along.
Oh no!
God damn it, Adam. That would just be. You're the only one who can get away with it.
We can see you on the Twitch. Video request.
So let me ask a question. Can we... It's all.
I don't hear any
It
echo
seems
now.
gone now, right?
It's all gone.
Yeah,
it's
it
Yeah,
seems
may have
very
been-
gone
It may have
now.
been me.
That's all right. You got to
It happens.
juggle. You're allowed mistakes.
So,
All
all
right.
right, let's continue.
Back at it. So, yeah. So Canute and Brigella have both come out, and they look upset. Meanwhile, the dickheads just have gone back to being dickheads again. Like the guards walking in only deterred them for a second. They're being exactly the same way they were before, just cocky and brash and.
How
no
old do
regard
these
for-
guys look?
Young, like 30, give or take. Like they're,
So
old
not
enough.
that young.
There's no excuse, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're older than I am.
Yeah.
Kelwin's gonna stroll up to the others and be like, well, I guess it's time for us to go to bed, maybe? Try to get some rest for tomorrow?
Say, well, there's somebody else driving the wagon. I mean, it's still a young night here.
Yeah, but, and he'll glance nervously at the back at the noisy patrons. It doesn't feel super safe over here.
Well, I mean, you got your rock disguise. I mean, that's got to account for something.
You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, I guess. I don't know how many times that's gonna work, but
Now, here's a suggestion for you, if you don't mind a little criticism.
Sure, I'm always open to hearing other people's thoughts.
Now, you can't see through the rock. So why not just stay where you are and make the magical rock over you? This way you don't have to go running around.
But then, all they have to do is reach through the rock and then they'll see me again.
I didn't quite think this all the way through. That's a good point. So you do the rock as a distraction then, do you?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the distractions I do. If I need to scare someone, I do, like a big, giant skeleton thing.
I would love to see that one.
Well, I mean, right now?
I mean, not right now. That would be a little bit weird. We're in the middle of a nice meal and some drink. I'm just saying, when the time comes, I'd love it that one to be a surprise, because here I'll be expecting a rock, and instead I'll get a skeleton. I love it.
Okay, I'll try to surprise you some point, I guess.
Oh, that'll be great.
So we're just gonna hang out here and near these hoodlums then.
Well, for a little bit. I mean, so far, they've it seems to be an open bar once you get a room. So it
Yeah,
seems
speaking of
seems
which,
criminal to not drink it.
Speaking of which, the rest of you, is anyone gonna reimburse me, or is it just?
Well, I mean, it's all part of the group fund, I think, and you get this one, somebody else gets the next one. That's really how it works in these types of situations.
I didn't realize we were a group. I thought we were all just traveling to Dorlomin together.
Well, that's a group, wouldn't you say? I mean, here we are, all sitting together at the bar. I mean, You know, it's all part of the dynamic of the group.
I'm going to fish out 1 gold while this exchange is going on and hold it out to Kelvin. I am more than willing to pay my fair share, Kelvin. I appreciate it. And I'll give him a gold.
Now I'm pretty sure the private room was just for me and the gnome, though. I'm just gonna settle that. Nothing against you, but I'm worried that you're gonna shed, and I'm wearing black pants. It's a little bit.
I honestly am not a picky person. I have no qualms sleeping with the other person. If you want the room to yourselves, that's really fine with me. I am not picky.
Okay, I mean, thank you very much, Master River. This is very appreciated. And Kelwin will like nod, bow his head.
Right,
a little
all
bit.
part of the party dynamic.
Right, a party, and he'll look at Tajeet and like look back at Alistair meaningfully. We're a group.
Right, we're a group though who stays in separate rooms, though. Not all of us stay together. We'd like a little space.
Yes.
I guess the feedback is not me.
Yeah, it's just a recurring curse.
Apparently.
I'll try to mute myself. Hold on.
I'm gonna mute myself as well.
Keep talking, keep talking, keep talking.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
I like cheese. It's awesome.
Okay, I muted myself and I still heard the echo. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Pat.
Let me mute.
All right.
Check.
Echo?
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Anybody?
Oh.
Nope.
All right.
Oh shit! It's Pat.
Oh,
He's
Pat.
the killer.
Is it
He's the
actually
killer.
me?
Get him.
Who done it?
No,
Wait,
I
is
still
it
hear it.
no?
I still hear it. Still
No,
there.
no. He
Unmuted,
turned
though.
it off. He turned
Oh,
it
no.
back on. He said. Pat,
Yeah.
turn it off again.
I turned it back on.
All right. So, do you
Okay,
have
I'm not-
are you broadcasting through Roll
Check.
20?
1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2, 3.
If you go into settings on Roll 20,
So
there'll
this
be
is where we do a
I
little
want
roll
to
20
broadcast
tutorial.
to others.
Oh yeah, I have broadcasting off. I have it disabled.
Oh, okay. So it's something you're not watching the Twitch feed, right? You're not watching the Twitch feed, right?
No.
Is there sound coming out of your computer speakers as well as going into your headphones? This is for everybody, not just for Pat.
Nope.
That's weird.
Yeah, if the headset's in, you shouldn't hear anything from your computer, and if you are, that's what's happening.
That's weird. Let me write this.
All right. Well, I mean, it's kind of. It gets louder.
No,
Right,
it's pretty
for now,
Can you still hear it?
Yes.
Yeah.
for now, why don't you just just mute yourself and then unmute when you want to talk, and we'll that way we'll have some echo but not constant. So the push to talk, that's the thing, right?
It doesn't have a push to talk, but it's essentially if you mute yourself, like push to
All right. So where were we? Oh yeah. So River, you just heard from Garrus the drunk that Canute's son has at the very least disappeared, and now these people have come out, and you can tell like something is like they're good, happy people, and something is they're like you've never heard them argue or fight, and they're arguing, and they look distraught.
So I see Bergella come out, and she's like, maybe dried some tears or something.
Yep.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there like, can I move over, a couple spaces, like?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
like.
forward.
Yeah, just to be like, Brigella. I'll try to get her attention.
Oh yeah, no, she'll go right with you.
I couldn't help but notice that Mabel and Dodd, I haven't seen them around. Are they okay?
Well, Mabel's the waitress, so she was.
Oh, okay.
But Dodd,
Okay.
as a mention of his name,
Mhm.
she bursts into tears and runs off.
Brigella, is
Canute's still
Canute still around? Is he
Yeah.
still behind the camera?
Yep.
As she runs off, I'm going to, sample it. Canute, please, don't neglect me.
he's like he gestures to you and to follow him, and he leads you into the back room.
Okay.
And
I will follow him, obviously.
so yeah, it's just off map, but yeah, he pulls you aside and he's like, I'm always happy to see Kato, but that's not why I was asking about him. I'm in a bit of trouble, River. Is Kato, is he gonna be coming? I could really use his help.
I'm sorry to inform you, but I believe Kato might have died. It's the only conclusion I can come to. I'm sorry to tell you, but please confide in me. Maybe I can make it right. What is happening?
You can see it's like a blow when he hears that, and like not only because he knows Kato and he liked Kato, and there's the grief of losing a friend, but he like was kind of counting on him. And then for like that second, then he realizes that what it must mean to you, and he puts his hand on your shoulder, and he's like, "My friend, I'm sorry." And then he takes like a brief pause, and he kind of just goes into it. And he's like, "These men, these bandits, they've been coming to my inn for months now, and terrorizing it. They've been robbing and murdering my patrons and making me cover up for them. And we're going to go back to the other, back into the main tavern for a second now, where Brigella has come back and Mabel still hasn't reappeared. And she's now taking, I'm sorry, not Brigella, the stable boy, because Brigella just ran off. The stable boy has like come in and he's kind of taken over, waiter duties because everybody's fallen to pieces. And so he's over and he's taking orders from the guards, and he's coming out with their food, and they trip him. And he falls all over spills their food all over the floor, and big surprise, guards are dicks too. And you hear the clash, and Knut comes running out, and he sees it, and he runs over, and he's like, he's like really, really apologetic. I'm so sorry. And, boy, you're so clumsy. And like he's like, of course we get you new food right away on the house. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. And runs back into the back and starts trying to cook. But he runs past you, and you're welcome to follow him, River. It's like he left you back there, and it's not like you didn't get the feeling he was kicking you out.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, he's like rushing to try to cook more food, and if you follow him into the kitchen, he's like just frantic. He looks like scared, like more, it's not like an upset customer, it's fear, and you can gather that something's not right. And he's like, he just goes back into it about the bandits, and they've been for months now. My patrons, this is my place. You know this, River. I pride myself. I take good care of my customers, and they're killing my customers, and I don't know what to do.
You mean this Caspin and the other people that were sitting there degrading Mabel?
Caspin? No. Well, yes, but no. Caspin is a tool, a pawn. It is. Hold on, I need names.
I also need names.
It is Clement. Clement is the real problem.
And who is this? Who is this Clement? What does he look like? Please, in the memory of Kato, I vow that I must make this right for you.
River, it's too much to ask. Clement is He's a captain of the guard.
That does make things very complicated.
You understand then? You can't. It's too much. I don't know what to do. Kato, he would figure it out. He was so smart. How? But
I listen. I travel with a small band of people. There's one, maybe two of them that seem somewhat intelligent. Maybe I can bring this to them. Maybe we can together find something. And in worst case scenario, I'll go back to Dorlomin and I will talk to Kato's daughter. And maybe she will be spurred to help. We must do something to help you. You're such a dear friend to us.
Thank you. And I hate to ask. I really do. It's such a... But I just don't know what to do. They killed my son, River. I had to bury him behind the inn.
Oh, that was such a good boy to you. I understand the sorrow you must feel. I'm truly sorry.
Thank you, River. And he just goes back to cooking his food.
Yeah, I'll silently give it the moment, and I'll walk back out to join the group.
I say, so is there nobody here to refill me mug? Do we help ourselves? What? The service I was talking about before seems to have just disappeared altogether.
So the stable boy, the poor little bastard who's waited at table 3 days in his life, has this pretty full inn, and he's just running around trying to pour drinks and grab food, and he just runs by and throws something on the tap real quick and slams it down, and you end up with a quarter of a beer and just foam, and it's splashed everywhere, and he doesn't even stop. He just keeps moving right along.
Well, it's a good thing I haven't paid for any of these drinks.
I mean, Master Alistair, can't you tell that those hooligans are kind of making things hard on them?
To be honest with you, I haven't really noticed anything since the girl was tripped.
Oh yeah, well, it's pretty bad. We should probably get to bed, before anything else kind of breaks out here. I don't like the looks of either of those groups.
Well, I have to say, if there is going to be a bar fight, I kind of agree with you. Maybe we should make our way upstairs.
Yes, excellent. Okay, I'm gonna head out, and Kelvin's gonna start kind of walking towards the door, presumably towards wherever the rooms are.
And I'll go with him.
I'm gonna stay put at the bar.
All right.
Is River coming around this time?
yeah, he'd be out as you guys are.
Cue River.
They're just trying to walk past me.
Yeah,
or...
yeah, we're
just
nonchalantly walking past you to the room.
It would be right in the middle of that conversation. So it would be Kelwin suggesting to go to bed. You come out.
Okay. Perusing, looking over at what is this guy's name? Caspin and his group of people. What are they doing right now? Right now, what are they doing?
So Caspin's just kind of got his feet up, and he seems to be you're not really sure what he's doing. They're not drinking, they're not talking. Why? I'm trying to, how do I put it? They could be doing what they're doing anywhere. They clearly don't need this place for shelter. They're not interested in talking to anybody else. It's not like they're eating. They're just he's eyeballing people, really. He's just kind of looking around, watching. The rest of his men are a little less they're drinking and throwing knives and harassing people, but now he seems to be just kind of sitting and watching.
All right, and as the two of you, both Kelwin and Alistair, are walking past me, what does your gait and countenance kind of look like?
I mean, I'm probably stumbling a little bit. I've been drinking all night.
All right.
Kelwin's got his eyes are kind of darting furtively back and forth between his destination and the the kind of hooligans and the.
Okay.
And I'm completely relaxed.
Excellent.
We're leaving now. We're leaving now.
Then I'm going to go straight to Kelwin. I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder. I'm going to look down. I'm going to say, "Hey, Kelwin, I will be by later to discuss some things with you. Please do not fall asleep too quickly."
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I actually, if you come into the room, I'll wake up immediately.
Okay. That's great. But
yeah.
I said, if there's one bed, it belongs to me. I said, I'll give you a pillow. That's it.
I don't think that's particularly fair, Master Alistair. I mean, I did pay for the room.
It's all part of the group fund. It's all part of the...
Yeah, you keep talking about this group. I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but whatever. Let's see what the room is like before we make any decisions.
That's fair. That's fair.
And it's like, but Master River, I mean, do be careful. I don't think everyone here is on the up and up, if you get what I'm saying.
I think I understand what you mean, and I do appreciate it. I'll be up soon.
Okay. Bye-bye. And Kelwin's gonna kind of like hurriedly kind of continue on his way.
Sure. And there's no stairs on this map, but the stairs upstairs are over here.
Okay. The minute that we get into our room, what does our room look like?
It's really nice. Very well decorated. It's got this big king size like bed. Like you guys are, like an actual mattress that he paid money for, not like some sack that he stuffed some straw in. Like it's very, very nice. I mean, you given the service and what you've seen of the tavern and the inn, you kind of would expect something nice, but still.
Is there like a chaise or a sofa or something?
There is a chaise, yeah.
I say, so this is perfect here. There's room for me, and I point at the bed, and there's room for you. I point at the chaise.
Kelwin is like, kind of like, not even paying a lot of attention right now to Alistair. He's actually looking and checking, is there a window? He's checking like the entirety of the room, the perimeter.
Yeah, no, there are 2 windows.
Okay, he checks the latches on both windows and makes sure they're both secure.
And thank you, Arnese. It's hard to read on this thing. For, for following Wicked Studios, LLC, and Ravanna.
Yeah!
Woo!
Thanks
And
for
if I
tuning
messed
in.
up your name, I'm sorry. It was hard to see.
No, Arnese looks right.
Anise.
Oh,
That's
there's
what
double
it
N.
is.
I see.
Oh, and also we miss Cauliflower, who followed us 2 hours ago. So thank you, Cauliflower.
Cauliflower!
Hope you're enjoying it, guys and ladies and people.
Yeah.
And non-people.
Yeah. Any
We
dog?
don't want to
Whoever's
be.
watching.
We don't want to be. Intolerant of other species.
We're welcoming of all species here at Ravanna.
If you think you can leave your house and put on Ravanna to keep your dog company, no. It's not.
You don't even. The great thing about Ravanna is you don't even need to leave your house ever. It's right there, unless you have a problem with a device and you need to get a new one. But in fact, you just go to Amazon or something like that. You order it, they'll deliver it right to you. It's fantastic. You may have to open your door and pick it up off of the stoop, but other than that, you're in good shape.
Pretty soon you're just going to live in a prime house and be a prime citizen. You'll only have to think about what you want, and Prime will bill your account and send it to you.
Every house will have an Amazon storeroom attached.
Oh, God.
All right.
Right,
Amazon,
so-
if you would like to be a sponsor, we're more than welcome to have you.
All right, so you guys are upstairs.
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
Kelwin's checking all the clasps and is resecure them. He's checking under the bed and there any of the other furniture, opening the closet if there is anything, like casing the whole place. And once he's satisfied that there's no one in there, he's going to pull out a tiny bell and a piece of fine silver wire and just pace around the entire perimeter of the room, chanting and kind of waving the bell a little bit, like a little tinkle as he kind of like steps around the room ritually for the next 10 minutes until he has finished casting the alarm spell.
As soon as I get in the room, I take off my shirt and my pants, I lay down in the middle of the bed, and I am out like a light.
So that whole process takes like 20 minutes. So we're gonna jump downstairs and we'll come back.
Sure.
It's like a fan fiction, and there was only one dead. Oh no!
We'll leave the rest to you. All right. So River,
Yes.
you got
Okay.
just had some heavy shit laid on you, my friend.
Yeah. So now that they've walked past me and gone upstairs, what is the Nalsi and Tajeet doing? What are they doing right now?
That's a good question.
I'm drinking. I'm keeping an eye on the rowdy folks, and I'm also keeping an eye on this poor, stable boy. And I'm just like rummaging around in my little bag of gems, like, I gotta find something nice for this one. He's having a bad day.
He is. He's tripped and fallen like twice. Like luckily both times they were on his way back to the bar, so he hasn't dropped anything. But he's like bumping into chairs and tables, and he just wants to be back out there with the horses. Poor little guy. And he's
All right,
like 8
stable
years
boy.
old. Like when I say stable boy, like he's a child. Like 10
Oh,
at the most.
oh.
Child labor laws on the fly.
I am
Got it.
pestering him
Yeah.
with questions.
Yeah.
Like, what's your name? Ooh.
He of course has no time and is terrified of you. So
Oh my God. Whenever he passes, I will ask him a different question. And I will wait until he passes again and ask him another question. Where did you get your shoes from? I like it when, and periodically I'll be like, I'll turn to the Nalsi and I'll be, I like it when he doesn't answer my questions.
Well, that's good, because, you're definitely not going to get a response at this point. I'm not ordering anything, by the way. I am trying to be, like, as unbothersome as possible
sure.
right now. I'm just, like, nursing the one ale that I had and just making it last the whole time.
And about what time of the evening is it?
So let's see, you guys got here at dusk. I'd say like 8 p.m.
Okay, I'm gonna go over
Hey,
to
you guys went to bed pretty early, by the way.
Yeah.
Old folks.
I'm not
I'm
used
gonna-
to traveling. It's
I'm gonna go
Well,
over
that
to
and you're drunk, so.
to Denalsi, and I'm going to say, I'm going to put my hand on her little shoulder. I'm going to say, do you mind maybe retiring to the room a little early? I think there are some things maybe we should discuss upstairs.
All right, I think we can do that. Tajeet, you ready to go? You ready to go sleep for a bit, dude? We can chill out and, have a good little sleepover.
I'm looking at the boy. Uh-huh. What?
Let's go to bed,
yes,
hon.
yes, sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I am very tired.
Yeah, come on, let's go. And then I'll just sort of like follow Tajeet's lead to wherever the hell, because us three are sharing a room, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'll just follow Tajeet's lead.
And the bathroom with everyone else in the inn.
Yeah, if you guys come willingly, then I'll just march us straight up to the room.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys are in the room. Room is the same as theirs. Like the rooms are all the same quality. It's just some of them have bathrooms and some of them don't. So nice bed, chase lounge, a decent carpet, or like like a rug, like a rug, but fine quality. A couple of windows. Nice.
Very cool. Okay. I'm just gonna double check what ritual spells that I have while everyone else does what they're gonna do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much as soon as we come in, though, I'm just going to say, okay. So I am very familiar with the two patrons of this place, both Canute and Brigilla. Their son seems to have gone missing. I heard that you maybe have heard some rumors about what has happened to him, Denalsi. Yes. It seems that those rumors may be true. Though they had to bury him last week. They found him dead with multiple stab wounds, I believe it was.
Oh no.
Yes, I know this is very selfish of me, but I very much admire and respect these people. They have housed me and my master multiple times over the period of our travels together, and I just do not feel right letting this go unresolved.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm down to help out. If someone needs help, then that's what we're here for. We got to stick up for each other. So I'm cool with it. What do we got to do? What's going on?
I do not know too much about your friend here, Tajeet, I know it's been a couple of weeks, but I still feel strange. Saying this out loud, knowing Tajeet can hear me, I still feel strange interfacing with the two of you. Is everything okay?
Well, I mean, I just kind of, like, Tajeet and I just sort of met up, you know, like maybe a few weeks before we met the rest of you guys, but he seems like a pretty solid dude, you know. He's got some stuff going on, but, you know, we all do. So, you know, you gotta learn how to, you know, just meet him where he's at, and then, you know, he seems pretty, you know, pretty good at heart from what I've seen. He doesn't seem like a bad dude.
Yeah, yes, my body is very, very solid. You can't push. Try, and I'll go over to him and try to take his hand and push it through my chest or something. It doesn't go through.
I'll let it happen.
I kind of like the echo thing too, because you know when Tajeet wants to talk. Like you start.
I see. Well, see, the issue is that the main perpetrator is a captain of the guard.
Oh, well,
It's
that's not
a very-
surprising. I mean, the government, am I right? That's all I'm gonna fucking say.
I try personally not to get too much into the politics, but I do know that the captain of the guard is a much more sensitive matter than simply going up to them and making them confess or confront them with their crimes.
Right.
I was hoping maybe to get something out of the party, maybe if we could help them before we leave back to Dorlomin.
So, like, okay, so the captain of the guard is the one that killed your son. That's what you're saying?
Not their son, correct.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. And does Caspin have anything to do with it? Because he seems like a dick too. And also, he was kind of looking around the bar like he was, like, a little too observantly. Like, he wasn't partying, he was watching people.
It's not for certain who killed their son, Dodd.
Mm.
But the leader of this incursion, if you will, to the city and to my good friends, both Canute and Brigilla.
I write them down so I do not forget.
The leader seems to be this Clement, who is a captain of the guard here in the city. Caspin is undoubtedly related, but he does not seem to be the root cause of the issues.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try something real quick to see what kind of funny business they got going on here, if any, at least for now. And then, yeah, let's figure out how we can put this asshole in his place, because that's super not cool. You know, if you're supposed to be protecting a community, then, you know, this is the exact opposite of what that is, and I'm not cool with that. So, yeah. And that's about as coherent as she's gonna get. Yeah. And I'm gonna ritually start doing detect magic in our room to see if any weird shit pops up. But as I'm doing that, I'm just like, you know, River, whatever you need, like, I'm here for that. I got your back, man. And there's detect magic.
I'm gonna give a passing glance over to Tajeet to see if anything significant's coming from him. And if not, I'm gonna go out of the room and go next door.
Okay. So how does detect magic work through walls?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay.
One foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal would block it, or 3 feet of wood. So it depends on how hard thick your wall.
So I'm really only able to detect what's in my room.
Okay. Well, so 3 feet, you'd be able to, the next room over, you're catching a vibe of some sort of magic. You're not really sure what, but it's something. But there's nothing in your room. Tajeet has got some sort of something about him, but it's faint or dormant, something.
Yeah. Well, we knew he was magical.
First time, you probably already knew that.
Is our room right next to Alistair and Kelwin's room?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I'm probably thinking that ping was Kelwin and all of his magic shit.
Yeah.
So All right, so I'm just like, okay, well, there doesn't seem to be any funny business for now, and I'm saying this to Tajeet since River left, and I'm just like, Tajeet, buddy, there might be some folks that we need to play with and who might be interested in some of your games, but don't get started until we point them out, okay? You don't want to play with the wrong guys, okay? Play with the wrong guys, okay?
Oh, okay, okay. I am very excited to play games with people. Okay, I should think about new games. Oh, where's my dagger?
That's a good idea. I like your strategy. And then I'm gonna go curl up on the chase because it's big enough for me and I don't care. I'm used to like camping all the time, so I don't give a shit. And I'm just gonna curl up on the chase and I'm like, yeah. And then I'll just fall asleep.
Channeling your inner cat before Wild shapes a thing.
Basically.
I like it.
Cat, I like it.
All right, so River has ventured over to see Kelwin and Alistair.
Yeah, I'll give a quick knock, just like on their door.
Kelwin will be like, "Just a minute," and you'll hear like a pitter patter of little feet as it approaches the door. There's like is there a bolt on this door, a lock, I assume?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So you hear like the unshifting of the little lock as he opens it, and it's like, "Oh, Master River," and he's like just opened it a sliver, so it's just his eye that's looking at you right now. It's like, "Oh, Master River. Oh, yes, come in. And he'll open the door for you.
With my passive perception, I'm assuming I'm still asleep.
Yes.
Yeah, the alarm spell I cast was the silent alarm to me, so it'll notify me when River enters the room, but it doesn't notify anyone else.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll come in. I imagine I see Alistair sleeping on the bed already.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to bed at like immediately.
He did seem to have a few more drinks than the rest of us. It is fine.
Yes,
But
that seems to be his way.
Yeah, I more so wanted to speak with you. I'm not too sure what he's even capable of, to be honest.
Shots fired.
It's a fair point.
So, Kelvin, we've traveled together for a couple weeks now, and I understand that you have certain abilities that, well, all being honest, I am very covetous of. But that aside, I want to know if you will help me. My friends here, the owners of this inn, both Knut and Brigida, they lost a son recently to those little assholes that were bothering the barmaid earlier. Do you think you would be willing to help investigate or maybe discover a way to bring justice to the matter?
I'm gonna need a little more detail than that, buddy. So, okay, those guys, they seemed like bad news, and that's kind of why we went upstairs. But, how is there any evidence that they killed, their son, like Knut's son? That's a pretty big claim to make.
Listen, I understand a need for an intelligent man such as yourself to need concrete evidence of such matters, but I have known these people for many, many years. They would not lie to me, especially of patrons. They would not simply accuse their own patrons of such travesties. I believe these people.
Then why don't they get the guard involved?
Well, this is the issue. The lead, the ringmaster, if you will, is the captain of the guard.
Oh no! Oh no! You're telling me we just got into this town. We're just passing through for the day, and you want to fight the captain of the guard?
Please, please. For such a small man, you're speaking very loudly. Please lower your voice.
I roll over and I said, "Don't worry, Mabel, I'll protect you."
I understand how crazy this must sound, but these people, they are, well, not like family, but they are dear friends of mine. We must see justice done for them. Don't you agree?
Okay, fine. just assuming that what you're saying is correct. Why? What is their motive? Why are they like they're just killing his son? Like, why don't they hold the son hostage if they wanted like more free food or something? What else are they doing?
Honestly, and to be expected of such an intelligent man such as yourself to bring forth such great points. But I first need your willingness to cooperate, to follow these things, because I, like yourself, am trying to go to Dorlomin. I cannot do this alone. I am merely asking, out of our couple of weeks of camaraderie, that we maybe take a small detour in our travel to bring righteousness and bring justice to this family for their son. If we investigate it and it's nothing, then we simply continue. Otherwise, we stay here and maybe do some right by these people.
Okay, but then we lose the caravan, right? Like, do we even know how to get to Dorlomin? I'm not that good with directions.
I am not the greatest with directions myself. I will 100% be honest with you, but I've been to Dorlomin before. I am positive that, worst case scenario, I can take us there.
Okay. Well, I like you a lot, Master River. If you can convince Master Alistair to get on board, I guess I can do it too. I mean, I'm just a little worried, you know, we got like crazy, you know, alien dude over there in your room who might just like kill people inadvertently, and you know, I don't want a lot of attention right now. I don't want a lot of attention, period, but I really don't want a lot of attention right now. So, you know, like we really have to be smart about this. We can't just go around accusing people. We have to be careful and you know, set a trap if we're gonna do this.
Okay, listen. I very much appreciate your ability. I appreciate your intelligence. How about this? You can decide when we call this whole thing off and continue back to Dorlomin if things get too risky. How does that sound?
Okay, you got it. You got a deal. But you're gonna probably have to convince this one because I don't, you know, I don't know. Maybe if you mention Mabel, it seems like he's got something for her. Or
Look,
something. But he was really into this redheaded woman that are back there in the village. So I don't know if, you know, this is just like a fling or, you know, I don't know how you humans, how those humans do it.
I watched him from behind my saucer for a couple weeks at the inn prior to all of us meeting up. I'm pretty sure he will pretty much go wherever the wind blows him.
Oh, that's what they call it these days. Okay, got it.
Well,
right. Well, should we wake him up to talk to him about it, or are we going to talk about this tomorrow morning?
You know, tomorrow morning I think it'll be best for him. It's best if he sleeps off the alcohol and we all approach this with a fresh mind. I will leave you to your bidding, and I will go back to ensure that the alien, as you so called him, is not destroying my sleeping area.
Yeah, I would like to help you, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to sleep here on the floor if you'd like, or actually the bed is big enough for both you and Alistair. So if you'd like to stay in this room, I've actually set up a magical barrier, so if anyone tries to come in, I'll know.
I'm just gonna look over at Alistair, look at my like long, lengthy, thin body. Like, you know, I really am just fine sleeping on the floor next door, and someone needs to watch those two. I think both of us can agree. Yes.
Yes. That's a good point. Good point. Well, okay, very well. I'm gonna get my sleep now then, and you know, hopefully everything. We'll talk in the morning, and you know, maybe they'll decide to be good guys tomorrow. You know, we won't have to do anything. We can just leave. That would be the best.
I'm gonna put both my cat handish hands, not balls, on his shoulder and say, "Yes, I very much hope for the same thing. Sleep well, my friend. Thank you for speaking with me." And I'm gonna turn around and try to exit.
Excellent.
Okay, good night, Master River. And he'll close the door behind him and bolt it shut.
All right, so
Gotta love Cat Dad. Can we get some love for Cat Dad? Because, yeah, moral compass of the party already.
absolutely. So quick thing, inspiration to Kelwin for the oh no. That whole thing. The captain of the guard. Oh no.
Oh, hell no.
All right, cool.
All right, so you guys are sleeping it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I need to know. Where does Kelwin sleep? Does he sleep on the chase, or are you gonna try to get all snuggly in there with Alistair? I need
No,
to
no.
know.
Alistair
Kelwin's
likes to
sleeping
cuddle.
on-
You've learned this over the 2 weeks that you've.
Yeah,
been
Kelwin's
traveling
not sleeping
together.
anywhere near Alistair. He doesn't want to
Oh.
be like the incidental object of his affection, like the
Oh,
particular
that's
dream,
fair.
you know.
That's fair.
Yeah. So he'll take the chase for the limit, like the reduction of risk.
That's probably a good call. All right. So it's morning. All right.
Wait,
unless,
no,
Denalci,
we didn't.
we'll go
no.
back. Goes in.
I'm sorry. I'm sleeping on the chase. Are the two of you guys sleeping in the bed? I'm sorry. This is important information.
No, I am light enough for my body weight displacement to sleep just on the floor. Just gonna
Okay.
take my chain shirt off, sleep on the floor.
You just like walk around in the same spot like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, when you wake up, I'm showing you my butthole. Whatever. Just go wild.
I'm sorry. I just
No
have
matter
to-
where he goes to sleep, when you wake
No.
up, he's on your feet.
Yeah.
I will use Arcane Recovery to recover the spell slot that I used to cast Mage Armor.
Okay.
Gyrus.
Oh no, you can keep. We'll assume for these purposes, the way I'm doing long rest, your mage armor is fine. Like it's good. Because like a normal adventuring day, you'd cast it, and when you recover a long rest, you'd recover it. You know, like going to sleep right now. So I'm not going to make you use your arcane recovery for this.
Okay. Well, no, I'm just using Arcane Recovery to fill the slot that I used to cast it.
Oh,
right? Which
understand.
because I'm
Okay.
assuming we still are counting the spells we cast last session.
Yes.
I cast
Yep,
Mage
I
Armor probably last session, so
Yep, you're good.
yeah, just tell me. Obviously, you'll tell me when we actually have a long rest. So
Yes.
for now, I just have my 2 slots, but I've used my Arcane Recovery and can't use that again until another long rest.
I got you. All right. So yeah, if there's nothing else, then we'll go right to morning. Everybody had pleasant dreams, I hope.
Oh yeah.
Much milk.
Kelwin will kind of be up and about, kind of like pacing a little bit as soon as he wakes, just like what are the options here? I mean, like I could leave them, but the Master River seems reliable. But then on the upside, like Tajeet's here, then I won't have to deal with him anymore. But it seems like it's a pretty messed up thing for some people to kill someone's kid. So there's that. Oh gosh, and he's like wringing his hands, like just pacing back and forth.
I wake up and say, "You seem to be worrying quite a bit," and then I walk past him into the bathroom, and I just, gussy myself up. It takes me a long time. I got, like, I'm
doing
in
my
there for some
contour.
time.
I gotta get my
Yeah,
eyeliner just right.
All right.
Well, yeah, I mean, you missed some details last night, Master Alistair. I mean, it's probably better if you hear from Master River, but we might not be leaving today with the caravan.
What?
I mean, I'm not good at explaining it. I think it's better if you hear it from Master River.
Well, I mean, we have places to be. There's the festival, of course, and we're all on our way to Dorlomin. And what do you mean we're gonna miss the caravan? I mean, I try to look out the window and see what time of day it is. I said, I don't think I slept that late. In fact, I went to bed pretty early.
Oh gosh darn it. Okay, I mean, it sounds like someone murdered the innkeeper's child, his son, and they're like, it involves like the guard, the guard, and also those like buffoons from last night. And I don't know, River seems to have a relationship with the innkeeper here, and he wants to set things right. And I think his heart is in the right place, but I also don't want to die. So I don't know. We're supposed to be talking about it, and maybe I can come up with a plan. But I don't know what plan I can come up with that will help us deal with the guard. Like we already killed some kids. I don't even know we didn't kill the kids. But we were there.
I love how
we were
the audience
witnesses.
has no clue what we're talking about in regards to
No,
You can check out Session 0 on
Session 0 is
YouTube
up.
or on podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I know Frank, Frank's listened to it.
Yeah, so like I I really don't want to draw more attention to myself than I have to, but
I'm just staring blankly at him this entire time. And then just say, so then there's the festival. And from there we go to Dorlomin.
yeah. Okay, look, I'm not the one who should be trying to convince you. I'm just on the edge myself, so you should probably talk to Master River directly. I see his points. I just, talk to him. And then like Kelwin will just kind of like rush out the door, kind of go downstairs to get some food and just clear his head, hopefully.
I go back into the bathroom and keep getting ready.
This is like a two rooms and like a shared bathroom between us, right?
No, we've got our
No,
own
so they
bathroom.
have a
You're
bathroom.
sharing the bathroom with the other unwashed masses of this particular hotel.
Tracking. Alright, cool.
Depending on who wakes up first, you're gonna see Denalcy just like, I went to bed, curled up, and now I'm just like full starfish on this fucking chase. Just snoring, drooling, the whole 9 yards. I ain't waking up.
You're so small that you can starfish on a chase lounge.
Yep, basically.
And still have room.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. For a cat curled up at your feet. River,
Yep.
how the hell did you end up there?
I'm just gonna wake up, seeing it, kind of brushing it off. I'm just gonna stretch out, stretch out my back, and stand up, not paying any mind, and just walk over to my gear, start putting it on.
So as you're stretching, you pushed Denalcy right off the chase lounge.
I'm just face down on the carpet, still snoring. I have not woken up. It is nothing to me.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
I have 3 siblings. You can't scare me with that low, with that basic shit. Oh, look, there's a kitty. She does join.
Yeah, I take punches in my sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably give some too. I imagine Tajeet just sleeping like this.
You have the whole bed to
And
yourself.
like chewing
that
on his
whole
own
day.
toenails.
As I get all my equipment on, if everybody's still sleeping, I will go wake up Denalcy, seeing Tajeet flailing in his sleep. Maybe not. I'll go wake up Denalcy. Excuse me.
Oh, hey, bro, what's up?
Yeah, the sun is out. I believe it's time to get up.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And I'll just, like, army crawl up real slow and just look around like, cool. And then I'll just sort of, like, waddle down to the, like, restaurant bar area. I make no attempt to visit the restroom. I don't care. I'm just going to go downstairs and get some food.
Fantastic. So yeah, you got like the whole just crazy bedhead nest thing
Red
going
floof
on.
everywhere.
Fantastic. Yep. Awesome. All right. What about the rest of you? Follow her down.
Yeah, I'll try to like wave my hands all weirdly to make some kind of thing happen around Tajeet's head. And if nothing happens, I'm just gonna say, no. And I'll go start shaking his foot a little bit with my head leaned back.
Oh no, it's eating my foot again!
Hey, calm down. There's flowers, blue flowers downstairs, waiting for you. Yes, downstairs, there's blue flowers.
I look at him, sort of cross for a second. You're not Mrs. Marigold. Get up. I'm just very confused. Walk downstairs like, what was I doing?
And I'll follow him down about 15 feet-ish back.
You'll see what's going down, but you won't be in the middle of it. I like it. And if I can see Tajeet as he's descending the stairs, I'll just give him one of these, like, "Hey, how you doing this morning, sunshine?" Got some orange juice. I got some eggs. Some orange juice.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, the food here, by the way, is really good. Like, I mean, it's kind of goes without saying. Everything here is the wine, the beer, anything you have, the toenails are really good.
They're known for their toenails, actually.
Are the kind of troublemakers from last night still here?
They are not.
Okay.
Now it's right now. So there was a whole bunch of people who you could gather were probably locals. To like this village, the inn kind of sits alone, but you gather there's probably a village nearby, and they seem to be locals visiting for the tavern, not for the inn, and they're all gone. You'll see the two well-dressed people, the one who spoke up, have the Goliath guard. They're downstairs. They're having breakfast. Goliath is at the same place exactly that he was before. For all you know, he hasn't moved. But the guards are gone. Caspin and his crew is gone. It's much more sparse. People kind of just waking up and having their breakfast.
Got it. Yeah, Kelwin's just eating pretty quickly, like kind of looking behind his back, like repeatedly, kind of just not very comfortable in the current situation. Is the caravan over here, by the way? Like, are the caravan members in the dining room?
No.
Okay.
And actually, you will see one of the people who was with Quigglesmith come in from outside, looking kind of confused, and look around, and then head upstairs, and they're just really puzzled.
Well, can we say something to them?
Oh, of course, yeah.
How there, fellow caravan member? Have you seen Quibblesmith or the others? Are you guys getting ready to leave now?
Hello, fellow kids. Like, that's how that sounded.
She's like, it's a woman, and she's just kind of dumbfounded. She's like, Quiggles, he's gone.
Gone?
His cart is gone. He's gone. Like, we were all drinking and having a good time last night, and I woke up this morning, and he left.
Is there what? Why would he? What? What? Why would he?
Hashtag suspicion. Not buying any of this.
Hey, River, are you downstairs at this point?
Absolutely. I was following.
Okay.
Tajeet, yeah.
So Canute is behind the bar. You look at him, and he shakes his head gravely.
I'm just gonna look at River, and I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna mouth to him like, those sons of bitches. You know?
I'll look. I'll nod sternly, like really quickly. I'll look back, and I'll look back at the other guy. Like, where is the last place you saw this cart?
It was in the stable. The stable boy took it into the, in there.
Oh, the stable boy, you're saying? Canute. I'm gonna just call over to him. Canute, right?
Yeah. And he comes over.
Yeah, Canute, this stable boy. Where is he at?
Oh, I imagine he's still asleep, the poor lad. We really ran him through his paces last night. He's not normally a waiter, you see.
I see. And who keeps watch over the things that you have in the stable?
Well, typically it's him, and we have it locked up pretty well. And you can, like, he's kind of trying to insinuate that, like, you know. I don't have to lock it up because if the dickheads want to steal from me, there's really nothing I can do about it.
I see. Well, thank you. Me and my friends here, we will try to get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna look at him like we're gonna help. We're gonna help.
Sure. And it kind of gives you. It's like I hope you find your friend, and it's more like I'm sorry about your friend.
Yeah.
I'll ask the kind of the caravan members. So is it just Quibblesmith that's missing, or are other people missing?
I think it's just he left. Why would he leave us?
Yeah, I mean, so everyone else is here though. The rest of the caravan is accounted for.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Quick question to you, Jairus. What kind of caravan were we traveling with? Like, was Quigglesmith's cart by far and obviously the most valuable in our group?
It was, yeah.
Okay,
So
good
basically
to
what
know.
you had was Quigglesmith, 2 people who worked for him, and 2 other merchants with 1 assistant or like 1 employee amongst them with a much lesser, like they don't even have a cart. They have a couple horses with saddlebags.
Okay.
Kind of like Quigglesmith's going and he's going to make his year. Like he won't have to work again all year from everything. They're like going with enough stuff to have themselves a really good time and afford their travels. So like they'll have enough. They'll have a blast and they'll go back home and it'll be a wash.
Good to know. Thank you.
What about Quibblesmith's helpers? Have you seen them around?
One of the women you're speaking to, or the woman you're speaking to, is one of his helpers.
Oh, I knew that. Yeah. Okay, well, that's weird. Kelwin will look genuinely puzzled, as he does not know about any.
She's mirroring you. You're both just like, why?
Why did he leave? Why did he leave? That's so weird.
I'm just gonna put my hand on Kelwin's shoulder and I'm just gonna look at him like, I think we all know why. And I'm just like trying to like just mentally like make that connection. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Well, Kelwin wouldn't be able to deduce that because he hasn't been told that the guard was like killing patrons outside or anything. Like that's all stuff that only River knows about right now.
I thought that River went over that with you guys.
He did not. I explicitly asked him what the motivation was, and he just said,
I mean, we can equate some of that. He might have meant to tell you, and it's just like recalling the same information over and over and over. Like, River, did you intentionally leave that out, or was it?
No, I didn't intentionally leave it out. It just kind of seemed to have not come out.
Right.
Okay. All right. Then I will assume that it came out in the conversation, and then Kelwin would understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes when it's like I say something, and then he tells it to one person, and he's telling it to you, it gets redundant. So it's like you assume that.
Yep. Yeah, Kelwin would definitely be able to put 2 and 2 together in that instance, and then he would be like, "Well, then, I guess we should be leaving. Probably, maybe we can hitch a ride on one of the other wagons. Like, I don't know." And he'll kind of like look over at River, trying to figure out what he's thinking.
There is no other wagon. We must get this wagon back. We came with Quigglesmith. It makes no sense to leave without him. He is the only reason that we have the ride. We have no horses ourselves.
Oh man, he's gonna speak.
Yeah, go ahead, Tajeet.
Oh, I gotta remember to take off the microphone. I'm like, I like the Quigglesmith man. He wanted to play my game. We should go find him.
Yeah, and then maybe we can play some games with the folks that are with him. And I'm just gonna look over at River like, I've got this look on my face like, I'm going to fucking destroy these dudes.
Can we talk in private real quick before we decide to do anything brash?
I think that is probably the best course of action. I'm going to look side to side at all the other pages. Given the company, I'm going to look back to, man, I'm terrible with this, Canute. I'm going to say, Canute, we'll be using the room for just a while longer, and I'll return the keys to you promptly.
Of course, River.
I think, is Alistair still upstairs?
No, at this point, I come down and I look refreshed. I look great. My hair is perfect. And I say, Well, folks, 'tis a great day for a caravan ride.
Yeah, about that, Master Alistair. We need to go talk, and Kelvin will just grab Alistair's like cloak like by the hem and try to like pull him along.
Yeah. And then I'll just keep walking with him, kind of like, I don't want to say leading the group by any means, but,
Sure.
moving back towards the room.
Yeah. In case you haven't figured out yet, River, you're the leader. You get.
Oh yeah, you're the leader, you're the moral backbone. Like it's on you, buddy.
Pours another glass of whiskey.
So, are you gonna come, Adam?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So he would drag him back into our room because he knows like his room is secure and he doesn't.
I'm following you guys, by the way.
In here. Everyone come in here. And he'll like kind of wave everyone in and then shut the door behind him, lock the door.
Okay.
Like right then. Okay, so I think we need to catch Master Alistair up to speed, and then we have to decide what we want to do.
So we're gonna wait on breakfast then.
I mean, you took too long in the restroom. We already ate. Like, what do you want from us? Look, it sounds like people are dying. We think Quibblesmith might have just been killed.
Quigglesmith?
Yes, Quigglesmith might have been killed last night.
Who would kill him? He's a delightful fellow.
I was telling you, like, Master River told me that that Canute and his told him that they murdered his son, and it's like a corrupt.
Right, but what does
captain
that
of the
have to
guard.
do with Quigglesmith?
They're rich. Well, no, they're not rich. They're greedy, and Quigglesmith had a bunch of stuff that they wanted, so they probably killed him, or maybe they haven't yet. But if we act fast enough, maybe we can like stop that from happening. And I would like to stop that from happening.
Evidently,
So
they
a quick breakfast then, maybe just an egg sandwich.
Yes, fine, but we need to have a plan of action here, because what are we trying to do? Are we trying to find enough evidence that we can turn it into someone? Out of character, is there any like source of authority in this like area that's higher than the actual like military, the captain of the guard?
Yeah, I mean, you can always find. There's always like nobles that have jurisdiction. But
well, why would they care?
Exactly.
Right. So there's no, essentially, for functional purpose, is no higher authority.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of similar to like
Wild
real
West.
life, where if like a dirty cop was just like doing some fucked up shit, and it's like, well, who do you talk to? Like maybe you talk to another cop and everything works out, or I don't know. Like it's just like
it's like a dirty chief of the police, right? Because
Yeah.
it's the captain.
Right.
Of the
Yeah.
guard.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So even if you talk to the district attorney, you're not going to get anywhere.
That you don't know who you can talk to, because you go and talk to a cop, and maybe like there's that whole like, or a guard, and there's like that whole brotherhood, and maybe you happen to catch like a good one who can help you, but maybe you happen to catch one who's like, oh yeah, no, that's totally fucked up. I'm gonna go handle it, and then they kill you in your sleep.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
So-
if you have not watched The Shield, I'd highly recommend it.
That's a pretty good show.
Good to know.
So even if we get evidence, there's no one to turn it into. There's no one that can help us. And we're talking about guards here. We're not just talking about normal like children. We're not talking about like village children we can just like
You're
blow up.
never going to live that down, Pat. I'm so sorry.
It's been 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks since he saw children murdered in front of his eyes. He's never.
That's
Like,
I'm
not
not
like
like shit. Don't
like
worry
we
about
live in a fantasy world, but it's not a fantasy world where you literally just see like children blown up every week. Like,
I know.
It takes at least a month
Yeah,
to
at
get
least
over
a
a
month.
child murder.
So I mean, like, how are we? What? So we're going to kill these guards or like capture them
Well,
ourselves?
Wait,
Wait
I
a
don't-
minute, why are
wait,
we
wait,
killing the
wait.
guards?
Maybe.
Seems
maybe
like a
we
bad
just-
fucking idea.
It's
maybe
a
we
terrible
just
idea.
see- Maybe we just go see, like, if we can find Quigglesmith, and maybe they haven't killed him yet, and we can just make sure that we get him out of there, you know? Like, we don't even know if he's dead or alive. We just know he's not here.
Yeah, but that doesn't really solve the problem that Master River presented last night, which is that these guys are terrorizing his friend, and he wants to help his friend out. So even if we rescue Quibblesmith, which I agree is like a step in the right direction, like that's not enough, right, Master River?
I will say I am not the wisest or the smartest man here. That I will concede to you. But we were riding with Master Quigglesmith in his wagon. Him and his wagon are both gone. We do not have the money, unless one of you are hoarding money, which you have not said since we've been paying for these inns these past 2 weeks. Okay, so we do not have the money amongst us to buy horses or a carriage ourselves.
No.
We need to get this back, at least from the captain of the guard. Also, if in that we can help my friends, I do not see why we cannot accomplish, what is the saying, two doves, one stone, something.
Yeah, pretty much. But, like, I mean, if you guys are down for it, like, these dudes are assholes and they deserve to have their asses kicked. So I'll be down to kick their asses, but I understand that that's not great in the long term because there's a bunch more of them in other cities, you know, like, it's not just this group of guards, like, they have their own network, I get that, but, you know, I say if we have the opportunity to just, you know, take them out and nobody knows it was us, then, you know, maybe we should think about it.
But maybe if we solve this corruption and bring prosperity to this town, maybe it is good if they do know it was us.
No, it's definitely not good that anyone knows that it is us. If we're gonna do this, we should definitely not tell people it was us, okay? Like, it is not a normal thing to go around killing guards. Who are you people?
I am not suggesting that we just, mercilessly slaughter guards by any means, please. By any means.
I'm
That's
Tajeet.
what I'm suggesting. That's not what I'm suggesting.
Yeah, I know you aren't suggesting it, Master River, but it seems like Denalcy does want to kick their asses, and like, I don't know how we kick their asses and make them stop bothering your friends without killing them. Like, how else are we gonna deal? We're gonna tie them up and take them with us? Like,
I am not sure. This is why I wanted to bring this up to you, and just like Master. I don't know what Master. Stop saying the Master thing. Mr. Alistair.
I kind of
here
like the master thing,
said-
if the truth be told.
He said.
Hey, why is he the only one that gets to be called master? That's fair.
Maybe I could stand behind him and do the claw thing and his talking. Everything can go back to normal. Maybe we don't have to kill anyone. Alistair, surely with that mouth on you can talk your way out of anything, right?
Well, I mean, so far it's worked out pretty well. Now, it seems to me that we are in a bit of a predicament. But there are some positive things about this. One, for example, it's a great story to tell. So, well, Kelwin, you and I are great mates now, of course. I have to disagree with the no publicity part, because I don't see why we would help right or wrong and not take the credit for it.
okay, look, fine. You can tell everyone you did it, but just keep my name out of it, okay? You don't have to tell
Well, I mean, I
anyone.
thought that was understood from the start, and I apologize if I
sorry.
wasn't clear.
Okay. That's totally fine.
By talking about how great and heroic we are. By we, I mean me. Now, another thing
Yes.
that I think we have to to think about. We're all a little bit down on our luck when it comes to coin, yeah?
Not enough to murder the guard.
Well, I'm not talking about... I mentioned to you when we first met, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But there has to be another way out of this. That being said,
I don't
the
think
owners of this establishment have quite a building here, right? And we saw the clientele. The place was full, and it was a Wednesday night. It wasn't even a weekend. Now, if you think about how much money they have, and you tell me they killed their poor son, what a horror, what a terrible fate that bestowed him.
Alistair, I'll stop you there. Now, I am not opposed. I'm not opposed to asking for some kind of reward.
Of course.
My friends definitely have the ability to pay, and they probably will. But let's not extort them for everything.
Well,
they
of
have.
course I'm not going to extort them from everything. They obviously have a bit. I'm just asking for our fair share. We're risking life and limb, and by we, I mean you in this instance, are risking life and limb. That has to be worth something, of course. And now you think about Quigglesmith, who also has a bit of coin, I imagine, and you think about all these other folks that these people are terrorizing. A horrible thing, a terrible tragedy. I think this might be able to work in a win-win, especially since, well, we've lost our only wagon and we've got nothing else to do at the moment.
Okay, look, this is all. I don't disagree with anything that anyone is saying here. I mean, other than the killing of the guards thing. I mean, but I feel like we are also maybe underestimating how difficult this will be to pull off, even if we wanted to kill the guards. I mean, I'm not
That's
saying
what
we kill
makes
the
a
guards.
great story, the hero's quest.
No, okay, we're not heroes though. We're just people passing through, going to a like. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but I'm not a hero. Okay, I'm just.
Oh, I never
scholar
said I was the hero. I'm merely the biographer.
Oh, right. But you're biographing yourself, right? You said it's all about what you're doing.
Well, I mean, you all are obviously key players to the story, of course. I mean, we've got a halfling with magical knives that freeze in the air. We have, a fireman alien thing here. We've got a catman with swords. Like, that's interesting in and of itself. And then we have the magical Kelwin the gnome. Oh, the true hero of the story. The bravest of them all.
Don't use my name.
The magical Kevin the gnome.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine. Kevin is fine. You can use another name to replace mine. But look, what I'm trying to get at is, even if we want to deal with these guys, I'm not sure we have enough muscle. No offense to you guys. So, if we're gonna try to do this, maybe we should try to get some help. Like, I was talking to this really friendly Goliath yesterday, last night, and he seems to be protecting, that rich couple, and they look like they're really wealthy, and they haven't had any trouble yet. So I was figuring we should ask about if he knows anything about what's going on here, in a non-accusatory and letting him in on things way, so that in case he's in with those guys, at least we don't get ourselves killed. But maybe he'd be able to help, and maybe there's some other people here that could help. I mean, surely it can't just be us, right? Like, if we're going to try to do this, it shouldn't be, just us. Then it's just going to be like, we're the guys who killed the guards. If the whole town kind of turns on them or whatever, then at least it's not like a story about a bunch of traveling idiots, including a red alien, a gnome, a bard, a catman, and a halfling. Because if you haven't noticed, we're kind of conspicuous.
Yeah.
That's part of the beauty of the story, though.
I like where you're going with this, though. Like, let's get the rest of the people involved, because there's got to be more people here that, fucking don't like these guys. That's a good idea. This should be a community effort.
I mean, it sounds good when you say it like that, but then you do the math, and I'm not a mathematician by any stretch. That being said, we're splitting the reward many, many ways, which seems to me to be a bit of a folly.
Okay, but what if we just get the Goliath guy, though? Just one more dude.
Do you know how much a Goliath that size must cost?
He's worth it! He's gonna keep us alive!
Yeah, that's definitely a good investment.
Do you not want to live? I don't know how...
I love life, which is why I'm traveling around with an exploding fucker who kills children at the drop of a hat. That's terrifying.
Is that me? I can do it again,
No,
yes, he can. He can do it anytime he wants, and that's why we have the upper hand.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're thinking that because we've got this crazy bomb motherfucker, then we like that's all. We're just gonna send him in,
Well,
and
we
he's
have
gonna
the-
blow them all up, and we're good. Is that the
I mean,
plan?
that's step one, but then in everyone who walks out, we have the cat man with the swords, we have the halfling with the frozen knife and the flowers, and I'm sure you do something interesting.
And what are you gonna be doing during this?
Well, I'll be taking notes, of course.
You are like a much more suave Terry and Darrington right now.
Okay, well, I guess maybe we should go. I don't know. Maybe let's go talk to Akamak first, or I'll go talk to him so it's not as conspicuous. And right now, it doesn't seem like any of those hooligans from last night are in here, so we might be able to talk a little more freely.
I mean, there's always talk and then there's action. Now, we need to find out what happened to poor dear Quigglesmith. And the other fuckers, I don't remember any of their names, but they're very important to River, so that's an important part of the story as well. Now, who is going to do the investigating?
But I have to
River!
say,
Okay, yes, I think
no,
it should be you.
All right, Alistair. I'm not too sure what exactly you're getting at there. I understand you want money. If you want shares of things, I don't care too much about money. You can have mine. But you, Kelvin,
You're all witnesses. You're all the witnesses.
if you do have some kind of in with that large Goliath man, and those other two, you said they seem pretty wealthy. Maybe something of theirs is missing as well. If you could investigate these things, I would very much go with you if you would like to do the talking. You seem pretty smart.
Well, yes, and Kelvin will kind of pull himself up. I was a professor, so I am quite intelligent, actually, but, and he'll kind of, like, just scratches the tip of his nose. I mean, I'm not super good at talking with people, but, you know, like, the Goliath was, like, really nice to me, and maybe he would talk to me. I'm happy to go as long as I have some backup, you know, like, I don't know, maybe Alkamak really is in with those guys, but he didn't seem like it at the time. But it's probably better safe than sorry, and I need more backup than just Helena. And he'll like snap his finger, and the owl will kind of like appear on his head and hoot at you.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, of course, I would love nothing
That
more
makes me
than to
nervous
accompany
every
you
time
and see
you
what he
do
has
it.
to say.
Okay, sounds good. And then I guess that leaves Master Alistair to do the investigating.
I mean, I suppose I could look around, but
Don't worry, bro. Like, we can help out with that. And I just sort of like wave between myself and Tajeet. Like, we can all investigate together. Like, the more of us that are working on this, the better. There's no way
team
this
effort.
could possibly go wrong.
All right.
Yes, no way at all.
All right. So I hate to interrupt because this is fantastic, but it is 12. I want to be like, and that's something I would like to establish is like, what well, I suppose we should probably talk about it off air, but
No, too late now.
This is for everybody.
Out there, we're doing it.
Those of you still watching, if you would like to chime in,
yeah.
We appreciate your feedback.
So how sharp is everybody's 12 o'clock cutoff? Because I'm content to let it go a little longer if things are moving, but I want to be sensitive to everybody else.
I'm good.
I'm
Yeah,
fine
I could-
either way.
I'm on the West
I'm
Coast. I
good
can go
for-
2 more hours longer than the rest of y'all.
Yeah, well.
All right.
So,
I would like a quick pee break, though, if that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's well.
I mean, how much
Let's
longer
take a
was?
break at the very least. Maybe we'll be back. Maybe we won't. We'll see.
Yeah,
Oh.
just a quick pee
Oh, yeah,
break, and then we're done.
so
All right.
Okay.
take your chances. Stick around or don't.
Yeah.
We may-
If
We'll
you stick
definitely
around,
be
you might
back
see
to
more
say
of this
goodbye.
Sweet little baby.
Yeah,
So,
at the very least, we won't leave you hanging. We'll come back and be like, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
All right.
go take for those of you watching, get a drink, go to the bathroom, maybe take a quick 3-minute power nap. Whatever you need to do to keep watching Ravanna here on Ricket Studios LLC.
Do it for the kitty.
right,
with
so
that,
we're
we
asking
are
questions.
back. We have Jairus dropping ice and getting drinks. We've got Patrick back and better than ever.
No fucking echo.
Oh no, that was so good. I thought it was real.
I know, right? I
Nice.
should have like ventriloquist the second one. So you've been so confused. That incredibly difficult skill.
All right. So.
All right. So
How
where
are we doing this?
Going to talk to Apamak.
Yes.
Well, Kelwin is anyway.
Kelwin
Yeah,
and
the rest
River.
of us are going
Kelwin's
to
not going by himself.
investigate.
Yeah, so I love that you have the intelligent guy going to talk and the charismatic ones going to investigate.
Yep.
Like, I love
This
I
is
have a
foolproof.
relationship with this guy. He told me his dark secret. I feel like he trusts
Yeah.
me.
No, it's true. It's true. I love it
you.
when you play the way you would in real life. Not like, all right, well, you have the high charisma, so you go talk to him. You know, like,
Yep.
Alistair has no business talking to a random, guard.
right?
Only if it has boobs, right?
If it was a woman,
Yeah, if it's a
he'd be
female
yeah,
guard.
he'd be all over.
I didn't see any female guards last night. I think you're out of luck.
Booby McBoobguard. She's coming. Don't worry.
Oh, my favorite character, favorite NPC.
Okay. So then I guess Kelvin would like coming down the stairs, kind of like glance behind him to make sure River was following,
Of course.
and then he'll just like kind of plod over and sit down next to the Goliath and say like, oh, actually stand on the stool and say like, hello again, Akamak, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Kelwin. You're pretty sure you didn't give him your name.
Really? I thought he did.
Maybe you did.
Oh, but if it helps with the narrative, we'll say I didn't. Be like,
Spooky.
okay, well, yeah, I had a couple of questions for you, like, I don't know if you've been watching any of these, any of the fine fellows that were, patronizing this establishment last night. There were a couple folks who were, a little on
He
the,
cuts you off. Nod. He just he interrupts you just with nodding his head. Like he's like, "Yep."
yeah, those guys, you're not friends with them, are you? You can tell me.
I don't know them.
Okay.
I know they're kind. But I don't know.
Yeah, but okay, so I was just meaning to ask. I mean, it seems like the guys who you're working for, like we said last night, seem like they're pretty well off. It sounds like there have been a string of like missing people and like people's possessions being stolen here. But your guys seem to be left alone. I can't help but imagine that that's because of you.
He nods.
Well, how would you feel about helping us? I don't know what to say. Bring these people to justice or something like that, like.
So he reaches out, or he reaches and he pulls out this big fucking warhammer, and he plops it on the counter, and it's like you couldn't lift this thing, you think, with two hands, but it's like a one-handed weapon for him, and he just puts it down, and he says, "Apamak is like this hammer. You know what this hammer does?"
Smash stones. Your name is
He
Stone
actually
Smasher,
laughs.
right?
That's not just me. He laughs and he goes, "This hammer destroys whatever you point it at. But Apamak is only the hammer." And he looks over at the two finely dressed people eating breakfast, as to say, like, they've hired him. You understand? Like, he's not just yeah.
I get you. Okay, that's fair. I'll go over there and talk to them, but maybe you can help me appeal to them. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about your employers at all, but it's for a good cause, and I'm just it seems like that man was a little bit offended by all the harassing of Mabel last night, so they might be interested or in favor of this course of action too.
He looks at you and he looks at them and he cracks this kind of smile and he goes, "You be polite, you be friendly. They're gonna like you just fine."
Okay. Well, thank you for your kind words, as always, Sir Akamak. And Kelwin will kind of like do his half bow again. It's like, it's a pleasure as always. Oh, by the way, this over here, this is my friend River. He's also a good one. Bye-bye. And he'll just drop the stool.
I'll nod and wait, put my hand up and follow him.
And I'll walk up and approach the noble-looking man and woman.
All right, so real quick, we'll jump over. What are you guys are investigating?
They start at the carriage house.
Okay, so you're going to check out the carriage house.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'll go with them.
There's really there's no sign of anything. Like carts come in, carts go out. It's like there's no forced entry.
Right.
It's just Quigglesmith's cart is gone. Like everybody, you see a bunch of other horses, a bunch of other carts. The stable boy's he's there, reshoring horses, going about his business. And
I walk over to the stable boy with a stern expression on my face.
Before he begins that whole interaction, just because it's only going to take 2 seconds, can I see if there are cart tracks going in a direction that is there's this one track going off in the middle of nowhere versus the normal cart traffic tracks?
You can give me a I'm not even going to make you roll. There's not.
Oh, okay, good to know. Sorry, I knew that was going to be super fast, so I just wanted to get that out of the way.
I just felt like it would be such a dick thing to be like, "Oh, you rolled a natural 20." You can expertly tell that there's no.
Well, good to know. Thank you.
Yep.
So I walk over to the stable boy. What's your name, son?
I'm Bryant, sir.
Bryant, yes. I've heard of you, have I not?
I hope not.
You know more than you let on, don't you, lad?
He kind of smirks. He's like, "Well, that I do."
Why don't you tell me a bit about the secrets in your heart?
You know he's 10, right?
That's why it's working. So, we'll go. We're gonna switch maps real quick.
Ooh, there's a stable map.
Well, not really. It's just the outside.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So he kind of looks guilty and a little sheepish. There's a tree by the inn, and if you climb it, you can see in the windows.
Ah, the windows of who?
So many ladies.
I think about this for a moment, and I'm getting a little bit off track, and I stop myself. So we'll get back to We'll get back to that in a moment, and I'm going to need specifics on the tree, of course. But in the meanwhile, what I'm looking for is a wagon. You remember the wagon that we came in on, yeah?
Oh yeah. Did you guys have a falling out or something? Because he left, right?
Wait a minute. Did you see him leave?
No, but he must have left in the middle of the night, or because I'm up pretty early for the horses. And
who watches overnight? You're the stable boy. You're in charge of this whole establishment, I imagine.
Well, it's like if anything were to happen, I think I'd hear. I
grab him by the shirt. You're in on it, aren't you?
I'm sorry.
Are you a part of this evil scheme? What did you do with Quigglesmith?
He's just like really, really scared. You can gather that he has no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
All right, I let go of my turn around to Denalcy and to. Oh, you guys in the wrong spot, so I'm going to move back to this map. Turn back to the Denalcy and to Tajeet, and I say, "Nah, he doesn't know anything. There's no evidence here of any wrongdoing. Maybe Quigglesmith just left."
All right. Hang on. And are there any horses in the stable here?
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch.
Cool. I'm going to ritually cast Speak with Animals and talk to the horse that looks the wisest.
Of course.
Whoever that may be.
How could you tell this?
Is that an
horse
ability?
is a horse, of course.
So there's like 4 horses,
Yeah.
and one of them is like sniffing his own shit. And the other one's like smashing his head against the wall.
Those are not the wisest.
No.
You can pick a horse, and
I will pick the horse that seems
Give me
like, like the most alert.
I would
You
take
know?
shit sniffer over headbanger.
Yeah. Well, I've got
That's
2
just-
more choices.
That's just me.
No, I'm just joking. I'm saying
Yeah.
like they're all horses. There's no.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
someone-
So I'll just pick one, and I'll just go up, and after I've ritually cast Speak with Animals, I just like tell them to hang on a minute, and this whole time I'm looking over them like, no, just a couple of minutes, I got this. And I'm just gonna walk up to the horses, and I'm gonna be like, hey, buddy, and I'm gonna druid craft a carrot into my hand. I'm just gonna be like, so you were here all night last night, right?
Oh, carrot. Yes. Carrot.
Okay. Did you see anything going on, like people taking carts and taking them places last night, like after the stable boy went to sleep? Was anything going on?
No. Steve, did you see anything? Oh, will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
His name is Steve, but his owner named him Buttercup. Could you imagine?
Yeah, that's super embarrassing. I'll definitely pass that message along because you don't want to be called Buttercup if your name is Steve. That would be.
I
super
sure fucking don't.
Right. So like,
The
I'll
horse
definitely
behind
tell
you.
him. Yeah.
Can
I'll
we take
definitely
this
tell him.
horse with us?
And if anybody here knows what happened last night and where that cart went, that lucky person gets a carrot.
2 carrots, and you promise you'll make them call me Steve. This is like the horse talking behind you.
It's a
Steve might be
deal.
my favorite NPC from any game of D&D I've ever played.
Fantastic.
I'm looking up at Steve like, it's a deal, my friend. And I just druid craft another carrot into my other hand.
Yeah, I saw him.
Okay. So like, tell me about them. Like, where did they go and who took the cart and stuff? Like, any details, man.
He was one of them. What do you call them? Gobblers. He was a gobbler, a tiny little green fella.
Oh yeah, I know about those guys. So the gobbler took the cart, and did you see like another like smaller person, like a gnome? I don't know if you've seen a gnome before, but like like a smaller, kind of like a little bit taller than me. Was someone like that with them too?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so you saw the gobbler take the cart, and you didn't see anything else?
Sorry, no, I didn't see no one else.
Good to know. And I'll just like
Did you just
give him
say
the carrots
no one
to like
else?
hope.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt, but that was great.
Steve is a fan of wordplay.
Oh my god. So I just like, all right, Steve, you've earned it. And I just like open my hands, like open palm, give him the carrots because that's how you feed horses. And then I'll be like, now who's your owner so I can tell them to call you Steve? Because I don't know who owns you, man.
His name is Master Bram Helton. He's a good
Bram
man, but he's given me a woman's name.
Yeah, that's not cool. Nobody wants to be
Woman's-
misgendered or dead named or any of that. I got you, bro. So if I see Master Bram Helton. Is he like a tall dude? Is he taller than me? Like, what's he look like?
Everyone's taller than you, sweetheart.
Well,
We have to
but,
take
like,
Steve with us.
but, like,
Steal
more
him if we have
specific.
to.
There's like you said, there's a bunch of dudes taller than me. I gotta know which one's your owner, dude.
How long does the spell last?
The spell lasts.
3 days.
I wish.
Long
It
time.
lasts for 10 minutes, so I think I still got a little bit of time.
Yeah, you're good. All right.
Yeah.
If it was a minute, you would have been. Yeah, it's so you're 10% of the way through.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound racist, but you all look the same to me.
And I was like, Denalci's laughing in character too, but she just kind of like pats him as high up as she can reach, probably like just past the knee. And then she's just like, that's okay, bro. You got me a name. That's all I need to know. So he won't be calling you Buttercup anymore once I find him, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then I'm going to go back over to my friends and I'll be like, yeah, so the goblin motherfucker from the last night is the one that took the cart, but I mean, obviously Quigglesmith wasn't out here when that happened, so we probably need to go back inside, and maybe Canute knows like which room that Quigglesmith was in, and then maybe we can go from there, because if Quigglesmith and the cart are gone, that means that the goblin took the cart, somebody else took Quigglesmith, so...
And you
That's
learned all this from the horse. I heard you neighing and braying.
Yeah, what I would have been doing while this is happening, right? Halfway through, I would have seen she's talking to a horse. Right? I would get hyped out about that. So if there's another horse, I'm gonna go over to the horse. I'm gonna grab its cheeks like this. Like, where are your toenails? I know you're hiding them.
Oh my god.
This poor horse.
What's your AC? What's your AC? It doesn't matter.
Oh, no!
So the horse just rears up and smacks you in the head. And he comes back and he's like, your friend is fucking weird.
Oh, yeah,
Say,
he does
if you-
that. I'm sorry. And then I'm going to look over at Tajeet, like, they don't have toenails, bro. They have, like, a whole different situation going on.
All you have to look is at the bottom of their feet. They're not wearing shoes. It's fairly easy to see that there are no toenails there at all.
You
3
can't lie
points
to
of
me.
damage, Tajeet.
I know they have them. They just
More
want to hide
damage?
them.
Holy shit.
4 whole points of damage.
Oh my
I'm
God.
going to give him
That's half my
another
health.
blue flower. I'm going to give him, like, a really nice periwinkle blue lily to distract him so that he doesn't harass his horse anymore.
Nice.
Tajeet is
one,
not
you
going to
get
make
killed
it,
by a
guys.
horse. You gotta be
We're not
careful.
even talking to, like,
It's a
Like-
card.
cognitive creatures. It's like low intelligence creatures are still left.
Hey, but I got some info, though, and now we should probably go back inside and, like, see if the innkeepers know where Quigglesmith was staying. Maybe, like, I don't know how much these dudes make them get involved, but maybe they, can point us in the right direction. Like, we got a direction, though. We know that, like, the guards are running this shit, but, now we definitely know that Caspin's people are working for them. So, we've got info.
And I
We're
knew that
making
it
progress.
was a good idea to make fun of the goblin's height.
I'm sorry, say that again? I missed the whole first part.
I know. We've learned that I was right to make fun of the goblin's height.
Oh yeah, like that was some good. If you're gonna be heightist, like that was some good use of heightism. Like I'm not.
And he
I'm not
turns
complaining.
out to be an asshole. I mean, he stole the cart.
Yeah, no, I'm down with that, bro.
I'm
but
just
let's
trying
go
to make
back
myself
inside.
feel better about the fact that I was a wee bit racist when it came to the goblin.
You
Yeah,
just said wee, though. Isn't that a bit racist? Like, it's a wee.
He's
it's okay.
he likes to
you're
feel
getting
like
there.
he's open-minded, but he's got a problem with goblins, it turns out.
Yeah, we'll work on it, but first let's make sure that our employer's not fucking dead. And so,
Is he
I'm
really
just
our
gonna start.
employer? He's more of our driver.
I
That's
guess,
true.
well, wasn't he paying us to like guard him? No, okay, never mind.
Yeah, no,
Let's
he's
just-
it's strength in numbers.
Okay, cool. Never mind. Because I don't really care about money. I just was like, yeah, that was a thing he said. No? And so I'm just going to go back
He
inside.
was a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
I love the guy. I was probably playing along to his crazy gnomish songs that he was singing the whole way down for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. You've actually probably learned quite a few. You're gonna like take those and be like, that's actually I can work with that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll play
I know
them
how
at
to
his
play for a
funeral.
gnomish audience now.
Jeez. Wake you up, Pete.
So I'm gonna go back inside the inn, and I'm gonna look around for Canute or Brigella or anybody who looks like they work there.
All right. Yeah. Oh, they're there for sure.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to Canute, and I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, so like, do you know what room Quigglesmith was staying in? Just so we can kind of put all the pieces together, you know?"
We got a bit more investigating to do, I say, as if I'm being any help to this scenario.
Yeah. So he points you upstairs and gives you a key and says, it's room 6. And now we'll jump back to Kelwin and River.
Cool. Yeah. So Kelwin, will just kind of go up to them and he's be like, and I'll kind of say to River, like, feel free to jump in whenever you want, you know.
If the time seems right, I'll time it. Don't worry.
Okay. Great. And he'll just kind of like walk up to the gentleman and be like, greetings, sir. My name is Kelwin, formerly of the Pelwar Academy, and I wish to seek your audience.
I know you. You're Kelwin Zognicks, right?
Oh, Zognicks. But yeah, close. Yes.
Yes.
How do you know me, though? And Kelwin's kind of like shirking away a little bit.
Well, you know, I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to embarrass you, but I respect what you've done. It takes courage to stand up for what you believe in, no matter how utterly ridiculous it sounds.
Oh, Kelwin was getting a little excited at first, based on what he was saying, and then he was about to be like, "Oh, you believe me?" It's like, "Oh, yeah, well, thank you for that. I think, and I'm sorry, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. What's your name and your lovely wife here, I assume?"
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. My name is Bram Helton. This is my wife, Lively. We are on a journey to see the clearing of Kiana. And you'll know this. So Kiana is one of the big 12 patrons. She is the god of peace, or goddess of peace and serenity and harmony and all that good stuff. Got it. There are a few, you want to call them holy sites, blessed areas in the world. And there is this one, and it's supposed to be in the Wildwood, and it is this clearing where, like a clearing with like a watering hole. So there's like this little pond, and the most ferocious animals will come and they just drink from this water and leave. Like it is just, so it's like you can go and see. And like, mind you, there's no zoos. There's no, like you can hear of these things. You can see pictures, and maybe you'll see one thing ever. But if you make the journey to this place, it's like this epic. Like you can see all these creatures that you would never ever see without any danger. You can just like go up and hang out with them, and they are totally peaceful while they're there.
Cool.
And so
has Kelwin been there before, or just heard of it?
No, it's our first time. We're really very excited. We've been meaning to do this for years, and you know how it is. You get bogged down in work and real life, and we decided, and she's like, Lively pipes up. She's like, I decided, and he's like, yes, bless you, my lovely wife. She decided that, you get to a certain age, and if we didn't do it now, we never would. So we're doing it. We're going. We're going to see the clearing, and it's just going to be fantastic.
Oh, that is very. That's great. I mean, I just came from the Wildwood area. Not there exactly, but you know, I hopefully you have sufficient protection. You know, there are a lot of orcs out there and stuff.
Yeah, so you would know this to be like you've heard of this, and certain people will do it, but it is an incredibly dangerous journey. And they have like their one guard, and they're clearly no use. So like they have him, and that's it, you know. So it's just like, okay, like you know, maybe you know something I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Anyways. I actually came here to seek your assistance in a matter of fair, pretty big urgency. Evidently, I don't know if you're familiar with Canute, the owner of this fine establishment. But it sounds his son was recently killed.
It's terrible.
Yes, and we believe it to be the cause of it was the hooligans from last night. You know, there's that gang, and then also unfortunately some members of the guard. And we wish to bring these individuals to justice, ideally in a peaceable manner. But unfortunately, I think that you know our skill in combat might not match that of the guard, so we were gonna see if you and your your guard Akamak might be willing to lend a hand to correct this grave injustice.
These are very serious claims you're making here. Are you sure these are not more of your theories, Kelwin?
I mean, it's not really a theory. The theories are things people haven't seen before. Yeah, no, okay, look. Yeah, Canute clearly believes it himself. And he's confided in one of my companions, my friend River here, who has been a long-standing friend of Canute's for quite some time. And I don't know if you would require some discussion directly with Canute, but I think that if we made it clear to him that you obviously, as Pastor Theruz, would have no ties to the gang or the guard, he might be willing to share with you as well. I think he's just a little bit wary about who he shares this information with, given that you never know who to trust. But I spoke to Akamak previously, and he seems like a really stand-up guy, and he seems to hold you, the two of you, in very high esteem. So I only assumed that you're given your noble bearing, you were clearly defenders of justice and righteousness as well.
At that, he kind of like puffs up his chest, and he like catered to his ego or challenged his ego, and he's like, "Well, of course I am." And he looks at River, and he's like, "What say you? You know the man? Can you vouch for this man?"
I can absolutely vouch for this man. What he says is true.
You know Canute.
I know Knut and his wife. Also, the two of his children, not so close, but close enough to know that what he speaks is true.
Canute, this is the first time we've ever been out this way, but Canute runs a fine establishment in a place where you don't need to, and I respect that. You'll have to make a persuasion check with advantage, because the two of you guys are tag teaming him.
Okay.
Either one of you, it doesn't matter.
Kelwin.
I'll do it. I'm fine doing it. It's
Oh, look at that!
Oh, yeah, the advantage.
nice.
Help
That
it.
Advantage for the win.
Sorry, that just made me
Second
really
natural
happy.
20 of the night.
That's fantastic. So he's like, you'll have to let me think on it. And his wife like hits him on the arm, and she's like, Bram. Like, and she just kind of like, and she's like, what? I I thought you were a gentleman, a proper gentleman. And he's like, he's like, excuse me, please, I forget myself sometimes. That's why I have my better half. Of course, if there is wrong being done, which I believe there is, of course, we will help however we can.
Oh, thank you so much. Given the sensitive nature here, and obviously, you know, it is a grave accusation and a challenge to deal with some guards. I think that I have a plan so that we can kind of ensure their guilt and also potentially trap them at the same time. But I need to think on this a little bit more and talk with my other companions. But I will certainly get back to you, Sir Bram. And of course, Mrs. Liebely.
As you get up and start to walk away, he like grabs you by the shoulder and turns you around and gives you this grave look, and he's like, "Godspeed, my boy." Like, this is like it's.
Yeah, Kelwin will nod like furiously. He's
Yeah.
like, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
He's totally buying into like, we're doing a great thing. I'm a part of this.
Yeah.
I love
I'm gonna do my
them.
best to formally bow. But yes, but I'll follow Kelvin.
All right. He bows back to you, just slighter. All right. You guys were, what was the other group was doing? We were going to investigate the room.
The room,
Just
yep.
take care of that, and then that's where we'll cut it off for the evening. All right. So yeah, it's room 6. Gives you the key. Head up. Give me. It's you guys are working together. Give me anybody who wants to roll investigation with advantage. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I'm pretty good at this. Just signs of a struggle. You know, seems if he left on his own, if he packed his stuff, if he left it there.
Sure.
Even with advantage 11, so not great.
11 is better than 7, I suppose.
Yeah, basically what he said, like blood, anything that shows like
Right.
something very wrong happening.
So you don't see any sign of a struggle per se, but the bed is unmade, and there are things left behind. Like you can gather, from the room you've seen, there is a general layout to these rooms, a style, and there's no like tchotchkes or it's a clean, and they're all like this room is very similar to yours, and there are little things left behind, not things of any value, but things that don't belong there. Things that they're not part of the room.
Like socks and other stuff.
Do you have any books?
Just like a rock and a book and a little bit of raboobaroo and just
Oh God.
like
I'm gonna pick up the book and see what's in it.
it is recipes.
Okay.
Are the windows open?
The windows are not open, but
Can I go up to
the
the
window is not latched.
Okay, so they're unlocked. Do I see any like scratch marks on the windowsill or anything that looks like someone maybe like pulled themselves through?
Give me investigation.
Yes.
I'll give you a separate check for it, for that specific.
Thank
You do not.
6.
Fuck. Guess not.
But the fact that it's unlatched is something.
That's true.
It's unlatched. There's stuff still around.
Yeah.
He's definitely dead.
Well, they definitely took him, but
His body is in the bed, and you guys are fucking oblivious.
I mean, if you're gonna say that, I'm gonna look under the bed. But yeah,
Shit.
You know what? Why don't we go downstairs and talk to Canute, maybe privately, and ask him, like, he said, at least, like, River was telling us that they were forced to cover for these guys. Maybe we could figure out, like, what that means. Like, are they burying bodies for them, or like what are they doing? So maybe if we ask them, they might know a little more. I don't know.
Sure. All right. So that's what we will pick up next week. I hope everyone enjoyed it, players and viewers alike.
Yeah, no. It was
It was a
cool.
good time.
Thanks for everybody for watching.
Yeah. Much appreciated.
And thanks
Thank
for
you,
those now
guys.
watching on YouTube or listening on podcast.
There you go. You don't need to see our faces.
and with the Skype drops, you often didn't. So.
That's true.
Most
Although,
of us are
I
ugly
think it's
anyway.
pretty animated. You don't want to see that.
No.
All right. So yeah,
Good game.
thank you. All that fun stuff. I enjoyed it. I hope everybody else enjoyed it. We will see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat time, whatever that thing is. And I think we're gonna end up doing a slightly longer session. So bonus, right?
Woo. Let's do it.
Free D&D. What can be
Yeah,
better?
baby.
Buy 0, get more free.
This baby
Thanks,
can put so
guys.
much free D&D.
Good
And
night,
on
guys.
Tuesdays, watch Jairus and I and some other people who really don't matter as much play Return to the Banded Kingdoms.
Specifically, tune in this Tuesday. It's going to be a good one.
Well, now
Say
I'm
that.
tempted, y'all.
bad one,
Yeah.
depending on what your perspective is. But a good one. Check it out.
All right. Well, good night. Have a good week.
See you
Thank
next
you
week,
guys
guys.
for watching.
Adios.